Once upon a time, in the great kingdom of Adarin, there lived a handsome prince named Adewale. Everyone in the kingdom knew his face. His picture was on school walls, on palace posters, and on the front page of newspapers. People said he had his father's strong eyes and his mother's calm smile. When he rode through the city, market women raised their hands and shouted blessings. Young women covered their mouths and giggled. Old men bowed and called him the future of the throne. But inside the palace, Prince Adewale was tired. That morning, he sat at the long dining table with his mother, Queen Morenike. The table was full of food, but he had only touched his tea. His eyes were on the garden outside. Palace workers were trimming flowers. Guards stood near the gate. Everything looked peaceful, but his face was tight. He did not answer at once. "My son," he turned. "Yes, mother. You have been looking at that garden, as if the trees owe you money." He forced a small smile. "Maybe they do." The queen did not smile back. "Madame Ireti is coming today." His face changed at once. "Again?" "She is the royal matchmaker. It is her work to come. It is her work to disturb my peace. It is her work to help you find a wife." Adewale leaned back in his chair. "A wife, or a woman who wants the crown?" Queen Morenike looked at him closely. "That bitterness is growing too big in your mouth." "It is not bitterness, it is truth." "No. Truth is clean. What I hear from you is pain wearing fine clothes." He looked away. "Mother, every woman they bring here says the same thing. They love my heart. They love my mind. They love my dreams, but they do not even know me. That does not mean all women are false. It means most of them are careful liars." The queen's voice became firm. "Do not insult women because some people disappointed you." He stood and walked toward the window. Down below, a young maid dropped a basket of folded cloth. A guard helped her pick it up. The guard smiled back. It was small, normal, simple. Adewale watched them longer than he wanted to. "They smile like that because nobody is watching," he said. "Nobody is measuring them. Nobody is asking if the maid wants the guard's salary, or if the guard wants the maid's beauty. They just meet." Queen Morenike stood too. "Then meet people as a man, not as a crown." He turned quickly. "That is exactly what I want." Before the queen could ask what he meant, the palace doors opened, and Madame Ireti walked in. She was tall and neat, with a head tie that sat like a small crown. Her dress shone with gold thread. She carried a red folder against her chest, and walked like a woman who believed every room was waiting for her. "My queen," she said, bowing. "Mama Ireti," the queen replied. "You came early. For royal matters, I do not sleep." Adewale muttered, "That is why royal matters are suffering." Madame Ireti heard him, but she smiled as if his words were music. "Your Highness, I brought excellent names today. Not just beauty, bloodline, education, family respect, quiet character." "Quiet character," Adewale repeated. "Does that mean they keep quiet until they get what they want?" The queen frowned. "Adewale." Madame Ireti opened the folder on the table. "The first is Lady Teniola, daughter of Chief Bamidele. She studied in London. She speaks 3 languages. Her family controls half the ports in the south. I am not buying a ship." Madame Ireti turned a page. "The second is Miss Ifeoma Nwosu, kind, graceful, and deeply loved by society. Society loves anyone with enough money to host dinners." The queen sat again, tired already. "My son, what do you want?" Adewale walked back to the table and placed both hands on it. "I want to meet them without this palace." Madame Ireti blinked. "Without the palace, without guards, without my name, without my clothes, without the crown." The queen's eyes narrowed. "What are you planning?" Adewale looked at Madame Ireti. "Arrange blind dates for me in the city." "That can be done," Madame Ireti said slowly. "But I will not go as Prince Adewale." The room became quiet. The queen stood again. "No." Adewale did not look away. "Mother, listen first." "No. I will dress as a poor man." Madame Ireti's eyebrows lifted, but she said nothing. Adewale continued. "Not just poor, homeless. A man with nothing. Let them see me as the world sees people at the bottom. If a woman can still speak to me with respect, Then maybe she has a heart. The queen walked toward him. Poverty is not a mask you wear for an evening. I know. No, you do not know. Her voice cut through the room. You know palace stories about poverty. You know reports. You know charity visits where poor people clap because the royal car has arrived. You do not know what it means to be unseen. Adewale's jaw tightened. Then this will teach me too. The queen stared at him. You are not saying that because you want to learn. You are saying it because you want to prove that women are wicked. He was silent. Madame Iretti closed the folder gently. My queen. With care. It could be arranged safely. The women will not know. The prince will have guards nearby. No danger will touch him. The queen turned to her. Do not encourage foolishness, because it gives you work. Madame Iretti bowed her head. I only wish to serve. Adewale laughed once. Everyone only wishes to serve. His mother looked hurt, but she hid it quickly. Fine, she said. You are a grown man, but hear me clearly. If you wear rags to test people, do not be shocked if the rags test you back. Adewale nodded, but his face showed he did not truly understand. By afternoon, Madame Iretti had made the first plan. A small restaurant near the old arts center would be used. The woman would be told that the prince wanted a private blind date with no public noise. But before she arrived, Adewale would sit there in worn clothes, dusty slippers, and an old cap. His beard was roughened with black powder. His clean hands were rubbed with sand. A torn brown shirt hung loosely on him. When he looked in the mirror, even he paused. He did not look like a prince. He looked like someone most people would pass without turning. His closest guard, Bio, stood behind him with worry on his face. Your Highness, I do not like this. You are not paid to like it. I am paid to protect you. This city can be hard. I will be in a restaurant. Poor people are chased from restaurants. Adewale looked at him through the mirror. Then I will know what kind of woman they sent. Bio lowered his voice. And what kind of man will they meet? Adewale turned. What does that mean? It means anger can dress as wisdom, sir. For a second, Adewale said nothing. Then he picked up the old cap. Stay close, but hidden. The first date came at sunset. Her name was Lady Teniola. She entered the restaurant in a green dress, with a small purse and a perfume smell that reached the table before she did. She looked around for the prince. Instead, she saw Adewale in rags sitting at the reserved table. Her smile died. Adewale stood. Good evening. She looked him up and down. Are you lost? No. I am waiting for my date. She laughed, thinking it was a joke. Your date? Yes. Do you know whose table this is? Mine for tonight. She stepped back. Where is Prince Adewale? Adewale lowered his eyes like a shy poor man. There is no prince here, only me. Her face hardened. Did Madame Iretti send you? Yes. She turned to the waiter. Call your manager. The waiter rushed over. Madam, remove this man. Adewale sat slowly. You have not even asked my name. I do not need your name. I need the smell removed from this place. The words hit him harder than he expected. He knew she was being tested, but the disgust in her eyes was real. The manager came. Madam, please. There may be a mistake. There is no mistake. I was invited to meet a prince, not sit with a roadside problem. Adewale raised his face. If the prince became poor tomorrow, would you still meet him? She stared at him. If the prince became this, the kingdom should mourn. Then she walked out. Bayo moved from a far corner, but Adewale raised one finger to stop him. The second woman came the next day. She sat down only after placing her handkerchief on the chair. Adewale watched her. Are you afraid the chair is dirty? He asked. I am afraid you are. He smiled faintly. At least you are honest. I was told this was a royal meeting. It is still a meeting. No, it is an insult. He leaned forward. Can a poor man not speak to you? A poor man can speak, but he should know where to speak from. Where is that? She picked up her purse. Outside. The third woman did not even sit. She took one look at him and burst into laughter. Oh no, she said, covering her mouth. Even poverty has levels. This one is royal poverty. Her friend, who had followed her secretly, raised her phone to record. Adewale's eyes darkened. Please put that down. Why? The woman asked. You came to disgrace yourself in public. Let people see. Bayo stepped forward from the back of the restaurant. But Adewale shook his head. He wanted to see the full shape of their hearts. The video went on for only a few seconds before the manager stopped it, but the damage was done. The woman left still laughing. That night, Adewale returned to the palace and washed his face for a long time. The dirt left his skin, but the words stayed. Queen Moronike met him outside his room. Well? She asked. He dried his hands with a towel. I was right. The queen's face fell a little. About what? People bow to cloth, not character. You met 3 women. I met truth 3 times. No, you met 3 people, and called them the world. He tossed the towel aside. Mother, you did not hear them. I have heard worse in my life. He turned. From who? From people who smiled at me because I was queen, then insulted servants beside me. From chiefs who prayed in public, then stole land from widows. From men who called me mother of the kingdom, then said women were too soft to rule. Cruelty is not owned by women, Adewale. It is owned by the proud. He did not answer. She stepped closer. Stop this thing before it changes you. It is already changing me. That is what I fear. Far away from the palace, Madame Ireti sat in Minister Dabo's private study. The room was large, with dark chairs and heavy curtains. Minister Dabo stood near a table, reading the notes she had brought. So the prince is truly doing it? He asked. Yes. Dressed as a beggar? Yes. Minister Dabo laughed softly. A lonely prince is a door. A wounded prince is an open gate. Madame Ireti smiled. He thinks he is testing women. He is not wrong to test them, Dabo said. A prince must be careful. He is angry. Better, angry men are easy to lead if you give them someone to blame. Madame Ireti opened her folder. Your daughter is still on the list. Minister Dabo's smile faded. Zara will obey. She has refused every royal meeting before. She refuses because I allowed her to think refusal is power. He poured himself water and drank slowly. This time, she will not refuse. Madame Ireti studied him, and if she does, Minister Dabo set the cup down. Then we shall help her choose. Madame Ireti leaned closer. There is one thing. The prince is starting to hate these dates. If we choose wrongly, he may end the whole process. Minister Dabo looked toward the window, thinking. Then we choose someone who will not just meet him, he said. We choose someone who will trap his heart, his pride, or his shame. Madame Ireti closed the folder. Zara, he said. Madame Ireti rose. She does not like being controlled. Minister Dabo's voice stayed calm. Nobody likes a cage until they learn the door was never theirs. She bowed and left. Minister Dabo remained alone in the study. He picked up a framed picture of Zara as a young girl standing beside him at a public event. In the picture, she was smiling, her small hand inside his. His face softened for one breath. Then he placed the picture face down. My daughter, he whispered. You will thank me when you understand power. Zara Dabo stood in her father's house with her arms folded. The house was not just big. It was the kind of house that made visitors lower their voices. Tall white walls stood around it. The floor inside shone like water. Servants moved quietly from room to room. On the walls were pictures of Minister Dabo shaking hands with presidents, kings, chiefs, and foreign visitors. Zara hated those pictures. She stood in front of one of them now, staring at her father's smile. In every picture, he looked kind. His hand was on someone's shoulder. In every picture, he looked like a man who helped people. But Zara knew the other face. The one at home. The one that did not shout because it did not need to. Minister Dabo entered the sitting room with a phone in his hand and a file under his arm. He was dressed in a neat navy blue kaftan. His beard was trimmed. His shoes made no sound on the floor. Zara, he said. She did not turn. Good evening, father. You did not come for dinner. I was not hungry. You are always not hungry when I invite someone important. She turned then. If you invite people to eat, I will come. If you invite people to inspect me like land, I will not. His face stayed calm. That annoyed her more than anger would have. You speak too sharply. You taught me to speak clearly. I taught you sense, not rebellion. Zara gave a small laugh. In this house, sense means doing what you want. Minister Dabo placed the file on the table. Sit. I can hear you standing. Sit down, Zara. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she sat, but not softly. She dropped into the chair as if she wanted the chair to know she was angry too. You have been chosen for a private meeting with Prince Adewale. Zara stared at him. Chosen by who? By the proper people. Meaning you. Meaning the palace, the matchmaker, and families who understand duty. I do not understand duty. You understand feelings. They are not the same thing. Zara leaned forward. I am not marrying Prince Adewale. You have not met him. I do not need to meet him. Minister Dabo sighed. That is childish. No. Childish is thinking your daughter is a bridge you can walk across to enter the palace. His eyes hardened a little. Careful. No, father. You be careful. I am tired of this. Every month, you bring one man. A governor's son, a senator's nephew, a royal cousin, now a prince. You call it a match. I call it a sale. He was quiet. Then he said, everything you enjoy came from my name. Zara's jaw tightened. The schools, the cars, the travel, the respect. You walk into rooms and people stand because they know you are my daughter. I did not ask them to stand. But you did not ask them to sit. The words landed. Zara looked away. Minister Dabo saw it and continued, softer now. My child, the world is not gentle. A woman with no protection becomes a story people tell with pity. I am giving you a place no one can remove you from. You are giving yourself a place beside the throne. His softness died. You will attend the date. I will not. You will. Or what? The room became still. Minister Dabo stood. He did not raise his voice. Do not test me in my own house. Zara also stood. Maybe that is the problem. You think every place is your house. For the first time, anger flashed on his face. You think the prince is different from me? He asked. You think if you run from my plans, royal men will give you freedom. They will smile, they will flatter you. Then they will own you with softer words. Then I will not marry any of them. You speak like a girl who has never been hungry. Zara's eyes burned. And you speak like a man who has used hunger to scare people. Minister Dabo picked up the file. Madame Miretti will send the place and time. You will dress well. He walked toward the door. Zara called after him. Father. He stopped. If I go, I will go my own way. He turned his head. As long as you arrive. Then he left. Zara stood in the large sitting room, breathing hard. A maid entered quietly to pick up a tray from the side table. Zara turned. Mina. The maid froze. Ma? Did you hear? Mina lowered her eyes. Only small. Ma? Zara looked at the door her father had used. Do you think I am wrong? Mina held the tray close. It is not my place. Just answer me. Mina swallowed. Some cages are made with gold, Ma. But they are still cages. Zara turned back slowly. Who told you that? My mother. Was she wise? She suffered, Ma. Sometimes suffering teaches people faster than school. Zara sat down again. But this time her anger felt different. It had been hot before. Now it was sharp. Do you know Madame Iretti's assistant? She asked. Mina looked afraid. Which one? The young man who follows her with the black tablet. Dele? Yes. Can you reach him? Mina's eyes widened. Ma. Please. I do not want trouble. I will not put your name anywhere. Your father will know. My father knows many things. Not everything. Mina stared at her. What do you want from Dele? Information. That night, Zara sat in her bedroom with the lights low. Her room had everything people thought should make a young woman happy. A soft bed, fine curtains, a dressing table full of creams and perfumes, shoes arranged by color, jewelry in small boxes. She looked at all of it and felt trapped. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mina. Dele says he cannot talk for free. Zara typed back. How much? The answer came. Enough to forget he talked. Zara opened her drawer and pulled out an envelope of cash. She called Mina. Give him this. Tell him I only need the truth about the prince's private dates. Mina's voice shook. Ma, this is dangerous. So is walking into a marriage blind. 1 hour later, Mina came to Zara's room and locked the door behind her. Her face was pale. What happened? Zara asked. Mina handed her a small folded paper. He wrote it down. He said he will deny everything. Zara opened the paper. Her eyes moved over the words. The prince is not attending as himself, she read on. He dresses as a homeless beggar to test women. Zara stopped breathing for a second. Then she laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was worse than she expected. A beggar, she said. Mina stood near the door. Ma? Zara looked up. Your prince wears poverty for play. Mina said nothing. Zara read the rest. Next date. Tomorrow evening. Restaurant near Old Art Center. Subject. Zara Dabo. She folded the paper slowly. So he wants to test me. Mina whispered. Maybe you should not go. No, I will go. Ma, but not as Zara Dabo. Mina shook her head. Please do not say what I think you are saying. Zara stood and walked to her wardrobe. She opened it and stared at her dresses. Silk, lace, beads, satin, all chosen for rooms where people judged women from head to toe. I want something poor, Zara said. Mina stepped back. I cannot help with that. You can. No, Ma. Mina. No. My own mother cleans offices. My aunt sweeps roads. Poor is not a dress style. Zara turned. The words struck her harder than she expected. For a moment, she was quiet. Then she said, You are right. Mina relaxed a little. Zara closed the wardrobe. Then I want something real enough to make him show himself. Mina's face fell again. That is not what I meant. I know. Then why? Because men like him need to be exposed. Or maybe all of you need to stop playing with poor people's lives. Zara stared at her. Mina looked frightened at her own courage. Forgive me, Ma. Zara did not speak at once. Then she said, No. Say it again. Ma? Say what you said. Mina held the tray tighter even though there was no tray in her hands. She always held her hands like that when afraid. I said maybe all of you need to stop playing with poor people's lives. Zara nodded slowly. I hear you. But the plan was already growing in her mind. The next morning, Zara left the house through the back gate with Mina. She wore a simple scarf and dark glasses. They went to a small laundry area behind a market where workers washed uniforms for offices, hotels, and cleaning companies. Mina knew a woman there named Auntie Bissy. Auntie Bissy was short, strong, and had hands that looked like they had fought soap and water for many years. She looked at Zara from head to toe. This one wants cleaner uniform? She asked Mina. Yes, Ma, Mina said. Auntie Bissy narrowed her eyes. For what? Zara answered. For a private matter. Auntie Bissy laughed. Private matter in cleaner uniform. Rich people have started new madness. Zara removed money from her bag. Auntie Bissy looked at the money, then at her face. I can sell cloth, the woman said, but I will not sell you suffering. If you wear it, know that some people cannot remove it when they are tired. Zara's face tightened. I understand. Auntie Bissy shook her head. No, you do not. But you will do what you came to do. She gave Zara a faded grey uniform, a worn headscarf, and a pair of old sandals. Do not make poor people look foolish, Auntie Bissy said. Zara took the clothes. I won't. Auntie Bissy looked unconvinced. That is what rich people say before they make poor people look foolish. Back in her room that evening, Zara dressed slowly. The uniform was loose. The sandals were rough under her feet. Mina helped her tie the headscarf. Zara rubbed a little dust on the hem of the skirt, then stopped when she saw Mina watching. What? Zara asked. You are trying too hard. Zara looked at herself in the mirror. She did not look like Zara Dabo. She looked like someone people would order around. The thought made her uneasy. Do I look poor enough? She asked. Mina did not smile. You look dressed. Zara turned. What does that mean? It means poor people do not wake up trying to look poor. They wake up trying to survive. Zara looked back into the mirror. For the first time, shame touched her plan. but pride quickly covered it. "He wants to test women," she said. "I will test him back." Mina came closer. "And after you expose him, then I will show my father the truth. And if the prince is not what you think..." Zara met her eyes in the mirror. "Powerful men are always what I think." Mina did not answer. At the same time, in the palace, Prince Adewale sat in a small private room while Bayo helped him prepare. The beggar clothes were laid out again. Adewale looked at them with less anger than before, but more stubbornness. Bayo noticed. "You can still stop, sir." Adewale picked up the torn shirt. "Why does everyone keep saying that?" "Because people who care about you can see the road is bending. The road is straight." "No, sir. You are just looking down." Adewale put on the shirt. Bayo sighed. "Who is the woman tonight?" "Zara Dabo, the minister's daughter." "Yes." Bayo frowned. "That family is powerful. That is why I must know her heart. Or Minister Dabo's plan." Adewale paused. "What do you mean?" "Men like Dabo do not give daughters. They make deals." Adewale looked at him. "Then tonight, I will know." Bayo wanted to say more, but he held it. As the sun began to fall, Zara left her father's house through the back gate again. No driver. No jewelry except one expensive bracelet hidden under her sleeve, a bracelet she forgot to remove because she was too focused on the disguise. Mina walked with her to the end of the road. "Please be careful," Mina said. Zara touched her hand. "I will." "No, Ma. Be truly careful. Not rich people careful." Zara gave a small smile, but it did not last. Across the city, Adewale entered an unmarked car, with Bayo sitting in front. He wore the old cap low over his face. "Remember," Adewale said, "do not come close unless I signal." Bayo looked back at him. "And if there is trouble?" Adewale said, "There will not be trouble." Bayo faced forward. "That is what people say before trouble enters and sits down." The car moved into the busy city. Zara reached the restaurant first but stayed outside for a moment. The building had bright lights and clean glass. Inside, rich people laughed over plates of food. Outside, a boy with a torn shirt watched through the glass until a waiter chased him away. Zara's stomach tightened. Then she saw him. A man in a torn brown shirt, old cap, dusty slippers, and tired eyes walked toward the restaurant door. Prince Adewale. Or the beggar he wanted her to see. Zara gripped the broom in her hand. "So this is your wisdom," she whispered. Adewale stopped at the door as the waiter looked him over with disgust. At the same time, Zara stepped forward. The waiter looked from one poor-looking person to the other. "This evening will be long," he muttered. Zara lifted her chin. Adewale looked at her. Their eyes met. Each one thought the other was the test. Neither knew the night had already started testing them both. The waiter at the restaurant door blocked Adewale first. "Where are you going?" the waiter asked. Adewale kept his head low. "I have a table." The waiter laughed. "You have what?" "A table. Inside here." "Yes." The waiter looked at his torn shirt, then his dusty slippers. "Brother, there is a food cellar across the road. Maybe that is where you are going." The waiter's smile dropped. "And I said you cannot enter." Zara stood a few steps away, watching. She wanted to see what he would do. Would he shout? Would he call guards? Would he use the power hidden behind the costume? Adewale looked past the waiter into the restaurant. He saw Madame Iretti's assistant sitting at the bar, pretending to check his phone. The young man raised his eyes and gave the waiter a small sign. The waiter's face changed at once. He moved aside, but his mouth stayed tight. "Fine. Enter." Adewale stepped in. Zara followed. The waiter blocked her too. "And you?" She held up her broom. "I was invited. To clean. To sit." The waiter stared at her. "Today is comedy day." Zara's hand tightened around the broom. "Ask inside." The waiter looked toward the bar. The assistant gave another small sign. The waiter moved aside with open disgust. "All of you should not touch anything." Zara walked in with her heart beating fast. The restaurant was bright and cold. Soft music played. Plates clicked. A few customers turned to stare. Zara felt their eyes on her uniform. She had worn fine dresses in many rooms like this before. People had stared then too, but in a different way. That stare had measured beauty and status. This one measured dirt. She did not like how quickly it entered her skin. Adewale reached the reserve table near the side window. He pulled out a chair. Zara stood, watching him. "Please sit," he said. His voice was rougher than she expected, but not rough enough. There was care in it, practice, control. She sat slowly. Adewale sat opposite her. For a moment, neither spoke. He studied her uniform. She studied his hands. His nails were too clean under the sand. His back was too straight for a man who slept on hard ground. She almost smiled. Fake. Adewale looked at her face. She had tried to hide her beauty with a plain scarf and no makeup, but her eyes were sharp, too sharp. Her words had not even started, yet he could feel her pride. Maybe she was truly poor, he thought, but not broken. A waiter came with 2 menus. He placed one in front of Zara carefully, then dropped the other near Adewale, as if it might stain him. Adewale looked up. "Thank you." The waiter did not answer. Zara noticed. "He thanked you." The waiter turned. "Madam, he thanked you. Is your ear closed?" The waiter looked her up and down. "Do you people want water or respect?" Adewale's jaw tightened. Zara leaned back. "Both," she said. The waiter forced a smile. "Water is free. Respect depends." "On what?" "On whether people enter the correct place." Adewale looked toward the bar. The assistant saw his face and quickly called the waiter away. Zara watched Adewale. "You were angry," she said. "I was not." "You were. You defend strangers often. You accept insult often." He looked at her. "Sometimes a man must know when to keep quiet. And sometimes keeping quiet teaches people to step on your neck." Adewale looked at her more closely. "You speak like someone who has been stepped on." Zara held his gaze. "You speak like someone who has watched stepping from a safe place." He almost smiled. "What is your name?" "Zara." He paused. "Zara what?" "Just Zara." "Just Zara." "Yes. Poverty does not need surname in places like this." The sentence hit him in a strange way. "My name is Wale," he said. "Just Wale?" "Yes." She looked at his cap, his shirt, his hands. "You do not look like just Wale, and you do not look like just Zara." She leaned forward. "What do I look like?" "Like someone hiding anger inside old clothes." Zara's eyes flashed. "And you look like someone hiding comfort inside dirt." The table went quiet. Adewale felt the first spark of danger. This woman was not like the others. She did not run. She did not laugh. She did not pity him. She attacked the mask. He decided to test deeper. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "That depends on whether you want truth or praise." "Truth. People only say that until truth removes its shoes." He nodded. "Would you marry a man who has nothing?" She laughed softly. "Men love that question. Do they?" "Yes. They ask it as if love means a woman must enter suffering smiling." "You did not answer." "I will. But first, answer mine. Ask. Would you marry a woman who has nothing?" He sat back. "That is not the same." "Of course it is not. When a man has nothing, he wants loyalty. When a woman has nothing, people call her a burden." Adewale's eyes narrowed. "You think all men are like that?" "I think many men ask for sacrifice they have never made, and many women demand comfort they did not build." Zara pointed at him. "There. That is your real voice." "My real voice?" "Yes. You are angry at women." "I am careful." "No. Careful people ask questions. Angry people set traps." Adewale felt the words enter his chest. "Who said this is a trap?" Zara smiled, but her eyes stayed cold. "Is it not?" He held her stare. The waiter returned with water. He placed the glasses down and left quickly. Zara lifted hers, but did not drink. Adewale said, "You think too much. And you watch too much. Is that bad?" "It depends. Some men watch women like human beings. Some watch like judges." Adewale's fingers touched the edge of his glass. Before he could reply, loud voices rose near the entrance. "Go away, Mama. Not today." Adewale and Zara turned. An old woman stood just outside the glass door. Her wrapper was faded. Her grey hair was tied with a brown cloth. She held a small bowl in one hand and a nylon bag in the other. Please, she said to the restaurant guard. Only leftover rice. I am not entering. I will stay outside. The guard waved his hand. Leave this place. I have not eaten. Is this the only place in the city? The woman did not move. Food smell brought my legs. Some customers near the window laughed. The sound made Zara look down. He told himself that this was not part of the test. If he acted too much, he might expose himself. Besides, palace guards fed people every week. He had given to shelters before. He had done his part. Zara also stayed seated. Her first thought was to defend the woman. Her second thought was sharper. If she stood too fast, would the prince think she was acting? Was he watching her reaction? Was the old woman part of his test too? The guard pushed the door open and stepped outside. Mama Sewa, I have warned you before. The old woman held the bowl tighter. My son, warning does not fill stomach. Go. Give me what you throw away. The guard took her arm. Adewale's hand moved under the table. He almost stood. Zara saw the movement. Why did you stop? He looked at her. Why did you not start? She opened her mouth, then closed it. It was strange. She looked straight at Adewale first, then at Zara, as if she could see under both disguises. Then she spoke loudly enough for them to hear. You two wear poverty like clothes. Some of us sleep inside it. The words cut through the glass better than a shout. Adewale froze. Zara's hand slowly fell from her cup. The old woman did not beg again. She turned and walked away from the door. Slow but steady. The guard dusted his hand as if touching her had made him dirty. Zara stood. Adewale looked up. Where are you going? To her. Why? She looked at him with anger and shame mixed together. Because she answered both of us. She walked toward the door. Adewale stayed seated for 2 seconds. Then he stood too. The waiter rushed forward. Where are you going? You have not ordered. Zara turned. Move. The waiter blocked them. This place is not a shelter. You cannot bring that woman back here, Adewale said quietly. Nobody said we were bringing her back. The waiter looked at him. You keep quiet. Zara stepped between them. Do not speak to him like that. The waiter laughed. Is he your husband? A few customers turned again. Someone whispered. Someone smiled. Adewale felt heat rise in his face. Zara's voice became low. I said move. The waiter looked toward the bar. But Madame Aretti's assistant had disappeared. Now there was no one to protect the game. The restaurant manager came from the back. He was a round man with a tight suit and a worried face. What is happening? The waiter pointed. Sir, these two are disturbing customers. Zara turned to the manager. An old woman asked for leftover food. Your guard pushed her. The manager's face hardened. That old woman disturbs this place every week, because she is hungry. Madam, look around you. People come here to enjoy peace. Peace built on chasing hungry people from food. The manager looked her over. Are you even a customer? Adewale answered. Yes. The manager turned on him. I was not asking you. Adewale's voice stayed calm, but his eyes were no longer soft. You should. The manager stepped closer. Do you know where you are? A restaurant built on land leased by the palace. A restaurant that enjoyed tax favors from royal hospitality programs. A restaurant whose owner had shaken his hand at a charity dinner last month. His mouth opened. Then he remembered his mother's warning. If you wear rags to test people, do not be shocked if the rags test you back. He closed his mouth. The manager mistook his silence for fear. Leave, he said. Zara stared at him. We are going after the woman. Good. Keep going after her until all of you disappear. Adewale looked at the faces around them. No one spoke. Some watched with pity, some with disgust, some with interest, as if the scene was entertainment. For the first time, Adewale felt what it meant to be insulted and have no name strong enough to stop it. Zara felt something too. She had planned to expose a prince, but now she was standing in a cleaner's uniform while people looked at her like dirt. The costume had started to bite. The manager pointed to the door. Out. Zara walked first. Adewale followed. Outside, the evening air was warm. The old woman had not gone far. She sat near a low wall, her bowl beside her. Zara approached slowly. Mama. The The woman did not look up. Which one are you? Kindness after shame or shame after kindness? Zara stopped. Adewale stood beside her. Zara said, I am sorry. Mama Sewa lifted her eyes. Sorry is light. Food is heavy. Adewale looked around. We can get you food. From where? The place that chased me, or the pockets you are pretending are empty? Zara's heart jumped. Adewale went still. Mama Sewa looked from one to the other. Ah, the silence has spoken. Zara forced her voice steady. What do you mean? Mama Sewa picked up her bowl. I mean both of you are wearing what you do not own. Adewale said, You do not know us. Mama Sewa smiled without joy. That is true. But I know hunger. And hunger does not sit on people the way those clothes sit on you. Zara looked away. Adewale said, We only wanted to talk. Talk is for people who have eaten. Zara reached into her pocket, then remembered she had brought no visible money. Only the bracelet hidden under her sleeve. She could not bring it out. Not here. Not yet. Adewale also had no cash. Bayo had it. Bayo, who was supposed to be nearby. Adewale glanced down the street. No Bayo. His chest tightened. He looked toward the spot where the palace car should have waited. It was not there. Zara also looked toward the corner where Mina had told a hired driver to stay in case of trouble. No car. She checked her small nylon bag. Her phone was inside. She relaxed a little, but before she could bring it out, a crowd suddenly pushed through the street. Two boys were fighting over something. People gathered. A woman shouted. A motorcycle horn screamed. In the confusion, someone bumped Zara hard. Watch it, she snapped. Adewale turned as another body hit his shoulder. The crowd moved like water around them, then broke apart as quickly as it had formed. Zara opened her bag. Her phone was gone. Adewale touched his pocket. His hidden phone was gone too. They looked at each other. Mama Sewa watched them with tired eyes. Adewale walked fast toward the corner, searching for Bayo. Nothing. He came back with his face tight. Zara's voice shook with anger. This is part of your plan, isn't it? My plan? Yes. The missing cars. The stolen phone. The old woman. All of it. Adewale stepped closer. You think I plan to be robbed? I do not know what people like you plan. People like me? She stopped. Mama Sewa stood slowly. Enough. They both turned. The old woman picked up her nylon bag. Rain is coming. You can stand here and accuse each other until the sky washes you away. Or you can follow me. Zara folded her arms. Follow you where? To where people go when doors close. The first drop of rain hit the ground. Then another. Then many. Mama Sewa began to walk. Adewale and Zara stood in the rain for a moment. Still angry, still proud, still afraid. Then thunder cracked above the city. Zara looked at Adewale. If this is a trick, I will make sure you regret it. Adewale looked back at her. If this is your trick, you will regret it first. Mama Sewa did not turn around. Come, she called. Both of you are too proud to drown quietly. And with rain pouring over their borrowed poverty, they followed her into the streets. The rain became heavy before they reached the first street corner. It beat on zinc roofs and ran along the gutters in brown streams. Cars splashed water as they passed. People ran with bags over their heads. Traders pulled cloth over their tables. The bright restaurant behind Adewale and Zara became a blur of glass and light. Mama Sewa did not run. She walked with the steady steps of someone who had lived through many storms and knew rain did not care if people hurried. Zara held her broom close to her body, though it was now useless. Water soaked her cleaner's uniform. Her sandals slipped against the wet ground. She almost fell near a broken pavement, but Adewale caught her arm. She pulled away at once. I can walk. I can see that, he said. Then do not hold me. You were falling. And you were waiting to rescue me so I can clap. Adewale stopped. Rain ran from the edge of his old cap. Must everything be a fight? With men who set traps? Yes. I did not set this one. You expect me to believe that. I do not care what you believe. Mama Sewa turned at last. If both of you have strength for argument, carry my bag. They fell silent. The old woman held out her nylon bag. It was not big, but it looked heavy. Adewale reached for it first. Zara also reached. Their hands touched. They both pulled back. Mama Sewa shook her head. Pride. Even in rain. Adewale took the bag. I will carry it. Zara said. Of course. The man must carry the bag so everyone can see his goodness. He looked at her. Take it then. She grabbed it from him. The weight pulled her shoulder down. She tried not to show it. Mama Sewa watched her struggle and said nothing. They moved through the market road. The smell of wet pepper, mud, smoke, and old water filled the air. A small boy ran past with roasted corn under a plastic sheet. Two women argued with a bus driver. A man slept under a shop shade with his knees close to his chest. Adewale saw it all, but not like before. He had passed this road many times inside royal cars. From behind tinted glass, the city had looked busy, colorful, alive. Now, walking under rain, the same city felt sharp. The gutters were open, the road was broken. The poor did not look like a crowd anymore. They looked like faces. Zara saw him looking. You are quiet, she said. You talk when I speak. You talk when I don't. I am trying to know which part is real. He looked at her uniform. Same. She looked away. They reached a closed pharmacy. A sick-looking man sat under the roof, coughing into a cloth. Mama Sewa stopped and searched her nylon bag. Zara shifted under its weight. What are you doing? Mama Sewa removed a small bottle of water and gave it to the man. He looked up. Mama, you still have. Drink small. The man drank and handed it back. God bless you. Mama Sewa placed the bottle back inside the bag. Adewale frowned. You know him. I know many people hunger has introduced me to. Zara looked at the man again. Why is he outside in this rain? Mama Sewa started walking. Because sickness does not pay rent. Zara opened her mouth, then closed it. They reached another street, darker than the first. The shops were older here. Some had broken signs. A group of young men stood under a shade, watching them. Zara moved closer to Mama Sewa without meaning to. Adewale noticed. Afraid? He asked. No. Your hand is shaking. Cold. It is not that cold. She glared at him. Do you enjoy watching women feel weak? No. I enjoy when people tell the truth. Then start with yourself. He almost answered, but Mama Sewa stopped so suddenly they nearly bumped into her. Ahead, a black car was parked near a closed shop. Two men stood beside it. One wore a dark jacket. The other held a phone and looked around like he was searching for someone. Zara froze. Adewale noticed her face. You know them? No. You are lying. Zara swallowed. We should go another way. Mama Sewa looked at her. That road leads to the bus park. I said another way. One of the men looked in their direction. His eyes paused on Zara. Zara turned quickly and pulled the headscarf lower. The man said something to the other. They both stepped forward. Adewale moved closer to Zara. Who are they? I do not know. Stop lying. I said I do not know. Mama Sewa looked between them. Follow me. She turned into a narrow side lane between two buildings. Zara followed fast. Adewale followed behind them. The lane smelled of wet walls and old smoke. Their feet splashed through shallow water. Behind them, a voice called, Hey, you there. Zara's breath caught. Adewale looked back. The men had entered the lane. Move, he said. I thought you do not care what I believe. Zara snapped, but she was already walking faster. Mama Sewa moved with surprising speed. She led them through the lane, past a sleeping dog, past a woman frying a kara under a small umbrella, then out into another road full of people waiting for buses. The crowd swallowed them. Zara bent low behind a group of women with baskets. Adewale stood close, watching the road. The men came out of the lane, looked around, then moved in the wrong direction. Zara released a breath. Adewale turned to her. Still do not know them. She did not answer. Mama Sewa took her bag from Zara. Secrets are heavy, heavier than this bag. Zara's face tightened. Please, Mama. Do not please me. Please yourself with truth. Adewale crossed his arms. I am waiting. Zara turned on him. You are waiting. Who made you judge over me? The same person who made you judge over me since we met. They stood in the noisy bus park, wet and angry, while people pushed around them. Mama Sewa walked to a small food stall under a torn blue cover. A woman there looked up and smiled. Mama Sewa. My daughter. Mama Sewa said. You came under this rain? Rain did not ask my permission. The woman laughed, then looked at Adewale and Zara. Who are these ones? Mama Sewa glanced back. Rain children. The woman laughed again. They look lost. They are. Zara looked offended. Adewale almost smiled despite himself. Mama Sewa pointed at a pot. Any left over? The woman's smile faded. Small, very small. How much? For you? Take, no, price. Mama, leave price. Mama Sewa opened a cloth tied at her waist and brought out a few coins. Zara stared. The old woman had coins, yet she had begged for food. The food seller shook her head. Mama, keep it. Mama Sewa placed the coins on the table. If I do not pay when I can, how will you sell tomorrow? The woman served a small bowl of rice with watery stew. She added one piece of fish head and pushed it toward Mama Sewa. Mama Sewa took the bowl and turned to Adewale and Zara. Eat. Zara stepped back. No, Mama, it is yours. Adewale also shook his head. We are fine. Mama Sewa sat on a wooden bench. People who say they are fine in rain are usually lying. Zara's stomach made a small sound. Adewale heard it. She looked at him as if daring him to speak. He said nothing. Mama Sewa took one small spoon of rice, then handed the bowl to Zara. Zara stared at it. Eat. Mama Sewa said. I cannot take your food. You can take my poverty for your game, but not my rice? Zara looked as if she had been slapped. Adewale turned to Mama Sewa. Why do you keep saying things like that? Because both of you keep doing things like that. Zara slowly took the bowl. Her fingers shook. She ate one spoon, then handed it to Adewale. He looked at the spoon. In the palace, food came on silver plates. If it was too salty, he sent it back. If it was too cold, someone apologized. Now an old homeless woman was sharing wet rice with him under a torn cover. He took the bowl and ate. It was cold, the stew was thin, the fish had almost no flesh, but he swallowed. The food seller watched them with interest. Mama, are they your family? Mama Sewa leaned back. Not yet. Zara looked up quickly. Not yet. The old woman smiled. Family is not only blood. Sometimes trouble gives birth to it. Adewale handed the bowl back. Before Mama Sewa could eat again, a small girl ran to the stall with a plastic cup. Auntie, please. My mother said give her small hot water. Her chest is burning. The food seller frowned. Again? The girl nodded. Mama Sewa stood at once. Where is she? Under the bridge. The food seller filled the cup. Take. The girl ran. Mama Sewa picked up her bag. Come. Zara said. Where? To see? Adewale looked toward the darker road. Mama, the rain is still heavy. She looked at him. Does sickness wait for dry weather? He had no answer. They followed her again. Under the bridge, many people sat or lay on mats, cartons, and old cloth. The air was damp. Rain dripped from the edges. A woman leaned against a pillar, coughing while the small girl held the cup for her. Mama Sewa knelt beside her. Tawa. The woman opened weak eyes. Mama, did you take the tablets from yesterday? They finished. Zara crouched near them. She needs a clinic. The woman gave a small laugh that turned into a cough. Clinic asked for money. Adewale looked around. There must be a free center. Tawa looked at him. Where do you come from, brother? The question was simple, but it held so much tired knowledge that Adewale felt foolish. Zara saw his face. For the first time since they met, she did not attack him. Mama Sewa touched Tawa's forehead. Too hot. Adewale searched his pockets again, as if money would appear because he needed it. Nothing. His hidden royal ring was there, wrapped in cloth, but he could not use it without ending everything. Zara's hand moved under her sleeve, her bracelet pressed against her skin. Not yet, she told herself. But the little girl looked at them with wide eyes. Can you help my mother? The girl asked. Zara looked away. Adewale turned from the child because he could not bear her face. Mama Sewa saw both of them. This is why I said sorry is light, she said quietly. Help is heavy. A loud horn sounded from the road above them. Zara stood suddenly. We should call someone. There must be a phone around, Adewale said. With what number? My guard's number is in my phone. You do not know it. He hesitated. No. Zara stared. You do not know your own guard's number. He looked at her. Do you know your driver's number? She opened her mouth, then closed it. Mama Sewa gave a dry laugh. Look at that. The people who came to test the world cannot even call home without small glass phones. Adewale felt anger rise, but it had no good place to go. Then the two men from earlier appeared at the far side of the bridge. Zara saw them first. Her face went white. Adewale followed her eyes. The men were speaking to people, showing something on a phone. Searching. Zara stepped back into the shadow. Adewale moved in front of her without thinking. She noticed. Do not do that, she whispered. Do what? Act like you care. I am standing. For me. For the path. You lie badly. He glanced back at her. And you lie often. The men moved closer. Mama Sewa stood and lifted her bag. Enough seeing. We go. She led them deeper under the bridge, then through a broken fence behind it. They passed a row of old buses, crossed a muddy yard, and reached the back of a community hall with peeling yellow paint. A small sign hung above the door. Night Rest Shelter. Zara read it under her breath. Mama Sewa pushed the door open. Inside, the room was warm, crowded, and dim. People sat on mats. Some were eating, some were sleeping. A volunteer folded blankets near the corner. A baby cried somewhere at the back, but softly, as if even the baby knew noise was too expensive here. Adewale stopped at the door. Zara stopped beside him. Nobody bowed. Nobody moved aside. Nobody cared who they might be. A man near the door looked up and said, New people? Mama Sewa answered. Only for tonight. The man nodded. Space near the wall. Zara looked at the floor. We are sleeping here. Mama Sewa turned to her. Unless your father's house has opened under this rain. Zara froze. Adewale looked at her sharply. Mama Sewa did not explain. She walked inside. Zara and Adewale stood at the door, wet, tired, hungry, and full of secrets. Behind them, rain covered the city. In front of them, poor strangers made space. Adewale stepped in first. Zara followed. The door closed behind them. The shelter smelled of wet clothes, old mats, hot tea, and tired bodies. Adewale stood near the door with water dripping from his cap. Zara stood beside him, holding her broom like it could still protect her. People looked up for a moment, then looked away. Their arrival was not special. The shelter had seen many lost people before. Mama Sewa walked to the middle of the room and spoke to a thin man with grey hair. Baba Kunle, she said. 2 rain children need wall space. Baba Kunle looked at Adewale and Zara. His eyes were kind but careful. Are they trouble? Mama Sewa glanced back. Not the dangerous kind. Zara frowned. What does that mean? It means you are noisy inside, Mama Sewa said. But your hands have not learned wickedness. Adewale almost answered, but Baba Kunle pointed to a space near the far wall. They can sit there. No fighting, no stealing, no touching anyone's things. If they have sickness, they should say now. We are not sick, Zara said quickly. A woman sitting nearby laughed. Everybody says that first night. Zara looked at her, unsure if she should answer. The woman was middle-aged, with a tired face and a baby sleeping across her lap. She shifted and created a little more room. Before someone takes the dry side. Zara looked at the floor. There was no bed, only mats, wrappers, and flattened cartons. Adewale sat first. He had slept in tents during royal tours, but never like this. The floor was hard, the wall was cold. He tried to sit with dignity, but his wet trousers stuck to his legs. Zara sat beside him, leaving a careful space between them. The woman with the baby looked at Zara's broom. You came from work. Zara opened her mouth. Adewale watched her. She nodded. Yes. Cleaning. Yes. Which office? Zara froze. Adewale's eyes stayed on her. The woman smiled sadly. Do not worry. Many of us do not like saying where life pushed us from. Zara lowered her eyes. Thank you. The woman shifted the baby. My name is Tawa. Zara looked up. This was the sick woman from under the bridge. You came fast, Zara said. Tawa smiled. Mama Sewa's legs are old, but her commands are quick. Mama Sewa came toward them with a dry cloth and threw it at Adewale. Clean your head. He caught it. Thank you. She threw another at Zara. You too. Zara took it with both hands. Thank you, Mama. Mama Sewa looked at the space between them and gave a small laugh. You were ready to bite each other outside. Now see how Wall has made you polite. Adewale wiped his face. Mama, must you speak about everything? Yes. At my age, silence is too expensive. A few people nearby laughed. For the first time that night, Zara smiled. It was small and quick, but Adewale saw it. A boy of about 12 came around with a tray of tin cups. He gave one to Mama Sewa first, then Tawa, then Adewale and Zara. Tea, he said. Adewale looked into the cup. It was weak and light brown. Zara held hers with both hands. The boy waited. Adewale asked, Do we pay? The boy laughed. If you have money, give. If you do not. He moved on. Adewale stared after him. Zara spoke softly. You look surprised. I am. That poor people share. He turned to her. She did not sound sharp this time. She sounded ashamed of the question even as she asked it. He looked into his tea. Maybe. Tawa adjusted the baby again. Poor people share because hunger is louder when only one person hears it. Mama Sewa sat on a mat opposite them. Tawa, rest your mouth. Your chest is still hot. Tawa smiled. If I rest my mouth, who will teach these new ones? Zara leaned forward. Why are you here? The question came out too direct. Tawa's smile faded. Zara quickly added, I am sorry. I did not mean it badly. Tawa looked at her for a moment. I worked in a hotel laundry. They owed us 3 months. When I asked for money, they said I was rude. Then my baby fell sick. Rent did not wait for salary. Adewale's hand tightened around his cup. What hotel? He asked. Tawa looked at him with tired eyes. Why? Will you fight them? He had no answer. Zara said, They cannot just refuse to pay you. Tawa laughed softly. Listen to her. Cannot. The word sat between them like a stone. A man on the next mat turned around. In this city, many things cannot happen until they happen to poor people. Then everybody says sorry. Adewale looked at him. What is your name? Jide. What work did you do? Security. 12 hours standing. One day I fainted. They removed me before I woke well, because customers were watching. Zara covered her mouth. Jide shrugged. Do not pity me too loudly. I still have pride. Adewale looked around the shelter again. Faces. Stories. People who had been pushed out of places where others sat in comfort. He remembered the women who rejected him at the restaurant. His anger had felt clean then. Now it felt small beside this room. A young man near the door broke a loaf of bread into pieces. He passed one to Baba Kunle, one to Tawa, one to Mama Sewa, then looked at Adewale. Brother, take. Adewale shook his head. No. You eat. The young man placed the bread in his hand anyway. First night is hard. Eat before shame fills your stomach. Adewale looked at the piece of bread. It was small, dry, and pressed flat from being carried in someone's pocket. He wanted to refuse again. Then he remembered Mama Sewa's words. Sorry is light, food is heavy. He ate. Zara watched him, then accepted her own piece when the young man gave it to her. The bread was dry. She chewed slowly. Her throat felt tight. Tawa saw her face. Drink tea with it. Zara obeyed. For a while, no one spoke. Rain hit the roof. Someone coughed. The baby on Tawa's lap moved and settled again. Adewale leaned his head against the wall. He was tired, but sleep would not come. His mind went to the palace. His mother would be worried. Bayo would be searching. Unless Bayo had truly left. Why had he left? Bayo never disobeyed him. He looked at Zara. She was staring at the floor, still holding the teacup though it was empty. You knew those men. he said quietly. She did not look at him. This is not the place. That means yes. She turned. And your guard, your car, your clean hands, should we talk about those too? He looked away. Tower watched them with interest. Are you two married? No, they said at the same time. Tower smiled. Good. You already fight like old husband and wife. It would be tiring for the children. Zara almost laughed, then stopped. Adewale shook his head. We met today. You followed your pride. I only walked in front. This time, more people laughed. Adewale wanted to be annoyed, but the sound softened something in the room. Baba Kunle stood and clapped once. Listen. The rain is not stopping. Those near the back. Shift for the women with children. New people. No moving around at night. If you need toilet, wake me or Mama Sewa. If anybody causes trouble, out. Everyone began to settle. Zara looked at Adewale. You can sleep. I will stay awake. He frowned. Why? Because I do not trust you. He gave a tired laugh. I do not trust you either. Good, good. They sat in silence. After some time, Zara's eyes began to close. Her head dropped, then jerked up. Adewale saw it and said nothing. A few minutes later, it happened again. Sleep, he said. I am awake. Your head disagrees. She glared at him. Do not watch me. You are sitting beside me. Face the wall. He turned his face to the wall. For one moment, Zara almost smiled again. Then Tower began to cough badly. The room shifted. Mama Sewa stood at once. Zara also stood, forgetting her anger. Tower bent forward, one hand on her chest. The baby woke and started crying. Adewale stood too. What is happening? Mama Sewa took the baby from Tower, her chest. Baba Kunle came with a small cloth. The medicine finished. Zara knelt beside Tower. She is burning. Adewale looked around. There must be medicine nearby. Baba Kunle gave him a tired look. Medicine is nearby. Money is far. How much? More than we have tonight. He felt it under his fingers. If he brought it out, everything would end. Someone would know. They could get help. Tower would have medicine. He could call the palace. He could leave this place. His fingers closed around it. Mama Sewa saw the movement, her eyes fixed on him. Slowly, she shook her head. Adewale whispered, she needs help. Mama Sewa whispered back, then help like a man, not like a crown. His face tightened. That makes no sense. It will. Zara was still beside Tower. The sick woman was breathing hard. Her little girl stood nearby crying silently, rubbing her eyes with the back of her hand. Zara looked at the child. Then she looked at her own wrist. Under the wet sleeve, the bracelet was still there. It was gold, with small stones around it. Her mother had given it to her before she died. It was the one thing she had almost never removed. She had forgotten it tonight because it sat on her body like part of her past. Her hand covered it. Adewale noticed. What is that? He asked. Nothing. Tower coughed again. The little girl whispered, please help my mother. Zara closed her eyes. She saw her father's house, her room, her jewelry boxes, her soft bed. She saw herself wearing the cleaner's uniform and thinking she understood something because she had changed clothes. Then she saw Tower's child. Zara pulled back her sleeve. The bracelet shone even in the dim room. Adewale stared. Mama Sewa did not look surprised. Jide sat up. Ah. Tower tried to speak. No. Zara unclasped it with shaking fingers. Adewale said quietly, that is expensive. Zara looked at him. Yes. Are you sure? No. That answer was so honest that he had nothing to say. She held it out to Baba Kunle. Can someone sell this now? Baba Kunle's eyes narrowed. Where did you get it? Zara's face went still. The room waited. She said, it is mine. Jide gave a low whistle. Cleaner with gold bracelet. Adewale watched her, waiting for the lie. Zara lifted her chin, but her eyes were wet. I said it is mine. Please, sell it. Buy the medicine. If there is money left, use it for food here. Tower shook her head weakly. No, my daughter. That thing is too much. Zara moved closer and took Tower's hand. Your child is watching you breathe like each breath is work. Nothing on my hand is worth that. The room became very quiet. Mama Sewa gave the baby back to another woman and took the bracelet from Zara. "I know a night trader," she said. "He buys gold and asks few questions." Adewale stepped forward. "I will go with you." Mama Sewa looked at him. "Why?" He looked at Tawa, then at Zara, then at the bracelet in Mama Sewa's hand. "Because I have carried nothing real tonight." Mama Sewa nodded. "Good. Carry your legs." Zara stood. "I am coming too." Mama Sewa shook her head. "No. Stay with Tawa. Your sacrifice should look at the face it is helping." Zara sat back slowly. Adewale followed Mama Sewa out of the shelter into the rain, but before he crossed the doorway, he looked back. Zara was kneeling beside Tawa, holding the sick woman's hand. Her headscarf had loosened, her uniform was wet and wrinkled, her wrist looked bare. For the first time, Adewale did not see a woman to test. He saw a person who had lost something and stayed. Outside, Mama Sewa walked fast. Adewale hurried after her. "Mama, yes? You knew she had it. I saw it. Why did you not ask earlier?" Mama Sewa looked ahead. "A gift pulled by force is not kindness. It is tax." He said nothing. They reached a small shop hidden behind a row of closed stalls. A man with tired eyes opened a metal door after Mama Sewa knocked 3 times. The sale was quick. The money was less than the bracelet deserved, but enough for medicine, food, and blankets. As they left, Adewale said, "He cheated her." Mama Sewa tucked the money safely into her cloth. "Yes. Then why accept?" "Because poor people often choose between bad price and no help." Adewale walked beside her in silence. By the time they returned with medicine, hot pap, bread, and a small bag of oranges, the shelter was awake with quiet hope. Tawa took the medicine. Her child ate bread with both hands. People shared the food without rushing. Zara sat against the wall, exhausted. Adewale sat beside her, leaving the same careful space. She did not look at him. "Did he pay well?" "No. I thought so. I am sorry." She turned. "For what?" "For asking women if they can love a man with nothing, when I have never had nothing." Zara stared at him. It was the first true thing he had said. She leaned her head back against the wall. "I am sorry too." "For what?" "For thinking wearing this uniform would teach me the truth by evening." Adewale looked at her bare wrist. "Who gave you the bracelet?" Her face changed. "My mother." He went still. "Zara, do not pity me. I was not good." But his voice softened. "Thank you for giving it." She looked at Tawa's sleeping child. "I did not give it to be thanked. I know." This time, she did not argue. Across the room, Mama Sewa watched them with tired eyes and a small smile. Near midnight, Adewale finally lay down on the mat. Zara sat beside Tawa until the sick woman's breathing became easier. Then she returned to the wall and sat near him. For a long time, neither slept. Then Adewale reached into his pocket and touched the hidden royal ring again. He pulled it out just a little under the cloth. The gold edge caught Mama Sewa's eye from across the room. She rose quietly and came to him. Adewale whispered, "I can end this." Mama Sewa crouched beside him. "End what?" "This hiding, this shame, this helplessness." She closed his hand around the ring. "If you are truly a prince," she whispered, "do not remove the rags yet. First, learn what your people feel when nobody is coming to save them." Adewale looked at her. For the first time, he had no sharp answer. The rain had stopped, but the shelter still smelled of wet cloth and damp walls. A thin line of sunlight entered through a broken window. People woke quietly, as if loud joy might cost money. Adewale opened his eyes and forgot where he was. For one short second, he expected the painted ceiling of his palace room, the clean smell of fresh sheets, and Bayo waiting outside with his schedule. Instead, he saw a cracked wall, a sleeping man curled beside a sack, and Mama Sewa sitting near the door with her eyes already open. He sat up. His back hurt, his neck hurt, his legs felt heavy. Zara was sitting beside Tawa, helping the little girl drink water from a cup. Her headscarf was tied again, but not neatly. Her cleaner's uniform had dried in rough patches. Without the bracelet, her wrist looked plain and thin. Tawa's breathing was better. The little girl looked at Zara with deep trust. Adewale watched them for a while. Mama Sewa's voice came from the door. If you stare too long, she will charge you rent. Adewale turned. Good morning, Mama. Morning is good only after people eat. He stood, stretching his sore back. Baba Kunle walked in with a small notebook. Those who can help with food line, come. Those going out to look for work, write your names. Those who want clinic support, wait for the volunteer. Adewale looked at Zara. Food line, she stood. I heard, you are going. You know how to cook for many people. No. Then why are you going? She looked at him. You know how to carry water for many people. No. Then come and learn. She walked past him. Mama Sewa smiled. This one's mouth has woken before her stomach. Behind the shelter was an open yard with 3 large pots over low fires. A few women were washing rice. 2 young men carried buckets from a tap at the end of the road. Children ran around with plastic plates until Baba Kunle shouted at them to slow down. Zara joined the women near the pots. One of them, a broad-shouldered woman named Kemi, looked at her hands. Have you cooked before? Zara said. Kemi raised one eyebrow. For how many? Zara hesitated. 4. The women laughed. Kemi handed her a bowl of pepper. Today you will meet 100 stomachs. Zara took the bowl. What should I do? Wash. Remove bad ones. Do not throw good ones away because they are ugly. The words sounded simple, but Zara felt them. Adewale followed the young men to the tap. The first bucket he carried splashed over his legs. One of the men laughed. Brother, have you never carried water? Adewale gripped the handle. I have. With your eyes closed. The men laughed again. Adewale wanted to snap back, but he stopped himself. He adjusted his hold and carried the bucket more carefully. The handle cut into his palm. By the 3rd trip, his arm hurt. By the 6th, his shoulder burned. The young man beside him, Jidi, walked with 2 full buckets as if they were nothing. Adewale looked at him. How do you do that? Jide smiled. Poverty teaches balance. Adewale almost smiled back. You make jokes about everything. If I do not laugh, I will bite someone. They reached the pots and poured the water. Zara looked up from the pepper. Adewale's shirt was wet again. His face was tired. For the first time, she saw him doing something that did not look planned. You are slow, she said. You are crying over pepper, he replied. Her eyes were red. Pepper does that. Water does this. They looked at each other, and both looked away before a smile could fully form. Kemi noticed. Are you too sure you are not married? No, Zara said quickly. Adewale said, people have asked that too many times. Kemi laughed. Because quarrel follows both of you like a child. The food line began 2 hours later. People came with plates, cups, small bowls, and empty food packs. Zara served rice beside Kemi. Adewale helped keep the line steady. At first, he tried to control it like a palace event. Please, one by one, stand properly. Do not push. An old man looked at him. Are you a soldier? No. Then give food, and stop commanding hunger. People laughed. Adewale stepped back, embarrassed. Mama Sewa came beside him. A line is not made straight by a loud voice. Watch who is weak. Let them come first. Watch who is ashamed. Do not shout their hunger for everyone to hear. A man behind her complained. Why is she entering before me? Adewale looked at him. She has children, and I have stomach. The woman lowered her eyes. Adewale wanted to order the man back. Instead, he took a breath. Brother, he said, if your mother stood here with 2 children, would you want someone to help her? The man looked away. Give her, she whispered. Thank you. He did not feel proud. He felt late. Near the pot, Zara served carefully. At first, she gave large portions to people who looked very thin. Kemi stopped her. If you give with only your eyes, the last people will meet empty pot. Zara froze. But they look hungry. All of them are hungry. Kindness needs sense, not just soft heart. Zara adjusted. She served smaller, fair portions. A little boy came back twice, pretending he had not eaten. Zara recognized him. You came before. He looked down. My brother is sick. She glanced at Kemi. Kemi shrugged. Sometimes truth follows lie. Zara gave him a little extra in a cup. For your brother. The boy ran off. Kemi smiled. Now you are learning. For a while, the work filled them. There was no time to argue. No time to test. No time to wonder who was lying. People came, ate, thanked, complained, asked for more, and moved on. Then a woman near the back of the line saw Zara's face and stared too long. Zara noticed and looked away. The woman stepped closer. She was thin, with a faded blouse and a scarf tied low on her forehead. Do I know you? The woman asked. Zara's hand froze over the rice. No. The woman narrowed her eyes. Your face. Kemi snapped. Sister. Collect food and leave face matter. The woman moved on, but she kept looking back. Zara's heart beat fast. Adewale saw from across the yard. He walked toward her. What happened? Nothing. You say that when something happens. And you ask questions when you want to hide your own. He looked at her. Those men last night. Now this woman. Who are you? Zara held the serving spoon tightly. Who are you? Adewale lowered his voice. Someone trying to help. Trying is not truth. Then say yours. She looked around. Too many ears. Too many eyes. Not here. He stepped closer. When? Before she could answer, a black SUV slowed on the road outside the yard. Zara saw it through the open gate. Her whole body stiffened. The SUV did not stop. It moved slowly, then turned the corner. Adewale followed her eyes. Zara. She put down the spoon. I need air. She walked toward the back of the building. Adewale followed. Behind the shelter, there was a small space with broken chairs, empty crates, and a mango tree. Zara stood under the tree. Talk to you? A man whose own name is a locked door. You first. Why? Because people are looking for you. She turned. Maybe people are looking for you too. They are. The answer surprised her. Adewale looked down at his hands. His palms had red marks from the bucket handle. I did not plan to stay here, he said. Neither did I. I thought I could walk into a few rooms, hear what women said to a poor man, and know the truth. Zara's eyes searched his face. He continued, Now I do not know what I know. For once, she did not attack. She said, I came because I wanted to prove something too. About me? About men like you. He looked up. Men like me? Yes. What kind is that? Powerful. Comfortable. Used to being obeyed. Used to calling women difficult when they refused to be used. Adewale was silent. Zara looked at the ground. My father wants me to marry Prince Adewale. His heart stopped for a second, but his face did not change. She continued. He says it is duty. I say it is trade. Adewale chose each word carefully. And what does that have to do with me? She looked at him. I found out the prince was using a beggar disguise to test women. So I came like this. Adewale's throat tightened. To test him back? He asked. Yes, and did you? I am not sure I met him. The sentence sat between them. Adewale looked toward the yard where people were still eating. Maybe he is not sure he has met himself either. Zara studied him. That sounds personal. He turned away. It sounds true. Before she could push him, Mama Sewa appeared near the back door. There you are, she said. Hiding behind mango tree does not make secrets fruit. Zara sighed. Mama, a man is asking for Wale. Adewale stiffened. What man? Tall, palace shoulders, worried eyes. Bayo. Adewale moved quickly toward the door, then stopped. If Bayo was here openly, people would know. Zara might know. Mama Sewa watched his face. You want him found or lost? Adewale looked at Zara. Zara's eyes narrowed. Who is Wale? He did not answer. Mama Sewa said, he is at the front. Adewale walked fast around the building, keeping to the wall. Zara followed despite herself. At the edge of the yard, Bayo stood in plain clothes, speaking quietly to Baba Kunle. His eyes were scanning the crowd. Adewale stepped into view just enough. Bayo saw him. Relief flooded his face. He almost rushed forward, but Adewale gave a tiny shake of his head. Bayo stopped. Zara saw the whole thing. Adewale walked to Bayo near the side gate. Where were you? he asked in a low voice. Bayo bowed his head slightly, then stopped himself. Sir, Madame Iretti's office sent word that you had changed plan and returned through another route. When I reached the palace, they said you were not there. I searched all night. Adewale's face darkened. Madame Iretti? Yes. Who else knows? The Queen knows you are missing. She ordered quiet search. No public alarm. Adewale glanced back. Zara was watching from far enough not to hear clearly. Do not come closer, he told Bayo. Do not bring the car here. Your Highness, this is not safe. I know. Then come with me. Adewale looked toward Tawa's little girl eating rice from a plastic plate. He looked at Jide laughing with another man. He looked at Zara, who had given away her bracelet and still stood there with questions in her eyes. Not yet, he said. Bayo stared at him. Sir? Find out why Madame Iretti lied, quietly. And you? I stay. Bayo looked as if he wanted to argue. Then he lowered his voice. Your mother said if I found you, I should tell you one thing. Adewale waited. She said, ask him if the rags have started speaking. Adewale looked down. Bayo left through the side road. When Adewale turned, Zara was standing closer. Your guard? She asked. He kept his face still. A friend. Friends bow with their eyes now. He was worried. About Wale the beggar. Adewale stepped past her. About Wale the fool. Zara followed. That I can believe. He stopped and looked at her. For a moment, the old sharpness returned. Then he saw her bare wrist again and the anger faded. Before he could speak, a loud voice came from the front of the shelter. Where is she? Zara froze. Minister Dabo's men had returned. This time, they were not searching quietly. Two men entered the yard with hard faces. One held a phone with Zara's picture on the screen. People turned. Kemi stepped away from the pot. Baba Kunle moved forward. The taller man spoke. We are looking for Zara Dabo. Adewale turned slowly toward Zara. Her face had gone pale. The man raised the phone higher. Daughter of Minister Dabo. She may be dressed like a cleaner. A murmur moved through the yard. Zara stepped back. Adewale looked at her cleaner's uniform, then at her face. The truth he had suspected now stood in the open. The taller man pointed. There. Zara ran. Adewale ran after her. Zara did not know where she was running. She only knew she had to get away from the shelter yard, away from the men, away from the eyes that had turned toward her when they heard her full name. Zara Dabo. Not just Zara. Not the cleaner. Not the poor woman who had served rice. Minister Dabo's daughter. Her sandals slapped against the wet ground as she ran through the side road. Adewale followed close behind. Behind them, the men shouted, but the yard became crowded. People stepped into the way. Someone knocked over an empty bucket. Kemi's voice rang out. Move where? You cannot come here and scatter our food. Adewale heard the delay and used it. Left, he shouted. Zara turned left into a narrow alley. Who told you to follow me? She snapped. You are welcome. I did not say thank you. You can say it while running. She threw him a sharp look, but fear was stronger than anger. They ran past old walls, broken crates, and a woman washing clothes in a basin. The woman shouted as they splashed water near her feet. At the end of the alley, Zara almost turned into the main road, but Adewale caught her arm. Not there. She pulled back. Do not touch me. They will see you there. She looked. The black SUV was moving slowly along the road. Adewale pulled her behind a stack of wooden boards. This time, she did not fight him. The SUV passed. Inside, one of the men leaned toward the window, searching. Zara held her breath. Adewale stood close, one hand against the wall, his body blocking her from the road. She could feel his breath. She could also feel her own anger rising again, because his nearness felt too much like protection and too much like another lie. When the SUV turned the corner, she stepped away. Enough, she said. Adewale looked down the road. They are gone for now. No. Enough with you. He turned. With me? Yes. Who are you? He did not answer. She pointed at him. Who are you? Adewale's face tightened. Who are you? She laughed, but it broke in the middle. You heard them. I want to hear you say it. Fine. She pulled off the headscarf and let it hang from her hand. I am Zara Dabo, daughter of Minister Dabo, the woman your precious prince was supposed to meet. Adewale stayed still. She stepped closer. I came because I heard the prince was dressing like a homeless man to test women. I wanted to see the kind of man who thinks poor people are tools and women are exams. Each word struck him. And you? She asked. He looked away. No, she said. Look at me. You have asked me questions since yesterday. Now answer mine. Why did your friend look at you like a guard? Why did the restaurant let you enter? Why do you carry yourself like someone who forgot to bend? But the truth stopped at his teeth. If he told her now, it would become about the crown again. She would see every word, every silence, every action as part of the prince's trick, and maybe she would be right. So he said, I am connected to the palace. Zara's eyes narrowed. Connected how? I work with the prince. She stared at him. You work with him? Yes. What kind of work? The kind that made me part of this foolish test. Her face changed from suspicion to disgust. So you are one of them. Adewale said nothing. She took one step back. Women were brought like goats to market, and you people called it wisdom. He flinched. She saw it. Good, she said. At least shame can still enter you. Adewale's voice was low. You came to test him too. I came to expose him. By wearing a poor woman's life like cloth. That silenced her. The alley was quiet except for far traffic and dripping water from the roofs. Zara looked at the headscarf in her hand. Yes, she said finally. I did. Adewale did not expect the honesty. His anger lost its footing. She continued. I thought because my father wanted to use me, I had the right to use a disguise too. I thought if the prince was playing a game, I would play better. And now? She looked at him. Now I do not know what game I am in. He leaned against the wall, tired. Neither do I. For a moment, they stood like that, two liars with their masks half broken. Then voices came from the far end of the alley. There, check there. Zara turned. Adewale grabbed a broken basket from the ground and pushed it aside, revealing a narrow opening behind a fence. Move. Where does it go? Do you want to ask the fence for address? She crawled through first. He followed. They came out behind a row of small shops. The back doors were closed, but people had left crates and buckets everywhere. They moved low until they reached another road. Zara was breathing hard. I cannot run forever. We are not going far. Where? Back to Mama Sewa. She stared at him. Back. Are you mad? The shelter has people, witnesses. Your father's men cannot drag you out easily in front of everyone. They can if my father sent them. Then let everyone see. She shook her head. You do not know my father. Adewale looked at her. Then teach me. Her face changed. No man in her father's world had ever said that to her like he meant it. She looked away quickly. He does not always shout. That is what makes him dangerous. He talks like he is helping you while he closes the door. He can make a cage sound like protection. Adewale listened. She continued, quieter now. After my mother died, he said he was all I had. At first, I believed him. Then every choice became his. What I studied, who I met, where I went, now who I marry. Adewale's voice softened. Why Prince Adewale? My father wants a hand inside the palace. If I marry the prince, he gets it. Adewale looked toward the road. And what do you want? He asked. Zara gave a tired laugh. Yesterday, I would have said freedom. And today, she thought of Tawa, the bracelet, the workers, the woman who had almost recognized her. Today I want to know who paid for my freedom. They began walking back toward the shelter through smaller streets. Adewale kept watching behind them. Zara kept watching him. At last she said, You said you work with the prince. Yes, tell him something for me. Adewale's heart tightened. What? Tell him his test is cruel. He swallowed. Tell him a woman who rejects a poor man is not always greedy. Sometimes she is afraid. Sometimes she has a child at home. Sometimes she is tired. Sometimes she has been used before. Adewale slowed. Zara kept walking. Tell him kindness cannot be forced by a trap. A woman may fail in public and still help in private. A woman may speak softly and still be wicked. He cannot know hearts by dressing like pain. Adewale stopped completely. Zara turned. Why did you stop? He looked at her. I will tell him, he said. Something in his voice made her look at him longer. Then Mama Sewa's voice came from behind them. You will tell who what? They turned. The old woman stood at the entrance of a side path, holding her nylon bag. Zara ran to her. Mama. Mama Sewa looked her over. Your legs work well when truth is chasing you. Adewale almost laughed, but Zara shot him a look. Mama Sewa turned to him. And you, palace friend, your feet also work. Zara looked at Adewale sharply. Palace friend? Mama Sewa did not blink. Did he not tell you? Adewale said quickly. I said I was connected. Mama Sewa nodded. Connected? Like head is connected to neck. Zara frowned, but before she could push further, Mama Sewa raised one hand. Not here. Dabo's men are still moving. Come. She led them through a back road and into the shelter from another entrance. Inside, the room was tense. People were still talking about what had happened. Kemi stood with her arms folded. Baba Kunle was near the door. When Zara entered, many faces turned. Jide stood. Minister's daughter has returned. Zara stopped. The words were not loud, but they carried. Tawa sat up from her mat. Her child was beside her, eating an orange. Tawa looked at Zara with surprise, then at her bare wrist. Kemi spoke first. Is it true? Zara looked around the room. She could lie. She could say no. She could claim mistake. She could hide one more time. But the room had shared bread with her. She took off the headscarf fully. Yes, she said, it is true. The room stirred. Jide laughed once, without joy. So we had minister's daughter serving rice. Zara lowered her eyes. Yes. Kemi's voice was hard. Why? Zara looked at Adewale, then back at the room. Because I was foolish. Nobody spoke. She continued, my father wanted me to meet the prince. I heard the prince was disguising himself as a poor man to test women. I came dressed like this to test him too. Baba Kunle shook his head slowly. Rich people and their games. Zara flinched. Tawa spoke weakly. The bracelet? Zara turned to her. It was mine. You gave it when you could have used it to run home. Zara nodded. Jide said, maybe she gave it because she knew more money was at home. The words hurt because they were not completely unfair. Zara faced him. You are right. Jide looked surprised. She continued. I have more than many people here. That is true. Giving one bracelet does not make me poor. It does not make me good. But last night, your pain was in front of me, and I could not keep wearing gold while a child begged for her mother's breath. The room became quiet again. Kemi's face softened a little, but not fully. Words are easy. Yes, Zara said. That is why I will not ask you to trust them. Mama Sewa walked to the front of the room. Good. Because trust is not cooked in one night. Watching Zara stand under the weight of her name. He admired her courage, but that admiration came with shame. She had confessed more than he had. Jide pointed at Adewale. And this one, who is he? The room turned. Adewale felt every eye on him. Zara looked at him too. He could feel the ring in his pocket. Not yet. The words rose from him like a coward's shield, but also like Mama Sewa's warning. He said, my name is Wale. I am connected to the palace. I helped arrange the prince's test. A murmur moved through the room. Kemi's eyes flashed. So you people brought women to shame them? Adewale did not defend himself. Yes, he said. The simple answer made the room still. He continued, I thought it was wisdom. I thought it would show who loved power and who had a good heart. But I was wrong. Zara looked at him sharply. This sounded too personal again. Adewale faced the room. I saw women insult me in the disguise. I used their cruelty to feed my pride. I did not think about the cruelty of the test itself. Mama Sewa watched him. He turned to Tawa. Last night, when you needed medicine, I had no answer. That was the first honest thing poverty gave me. Jide crossed his arms. Fine speech. Adewale nodded. Yes. It is still speech. Baba Kunle said. Then what will you do? Adewale looked at him. First, I will stop hiding when the time comes. Mama Sewa nodded once. Before anyone could ask more, Mina rushed into the shelter. Zara turned in shock. Mina, the maid, was out of breath. Her scarf had slipped back. She looked terrified. Ma, she said, then remembered the room and lowered her voice. Zara, your father has announced the royal engagement. Zara's face went blank. What? Mina stepped closer. Tonight, at the palace hall. He says you and Prince Adewale have agreed. He says if you do not come, he will release video of you running around the city dressed like this. He says he will tell everyone you ran away with a homeless man. The room erupted. Zara staggered back. Adewale's eyes darkened. Madam Ireti. Mina nodded. She is with him. They have videos. Edited ones. They are saying the prince also behaved badly. They want to force both sides before morning. Adewale looked at Mama Sewa. Mama Sewa's face was calm. So, she said, the trap has come to the palace. Zara whispered, my father will destroy me. Adewale stepped forward. No. She turned on him. You do not know that. I know he will try. And who will stop him? You? Wale, palace friend? Adewale did not answer. Mama Sewa stood between them. Tonight, both of you will go. Zara shook her head. If I enter that hall, he wins. No, Mama Sewa said. If you enter hiding, he wins. If you enter telling truth, he shakes. Adewale looked at her. Mama. She turned to him. And you? Do not reveal your wealth first. Reveal your shame first. Zara stared at them. What does that mean? Mama Sewa looked from one to the other. It means the only way out of a lie is not a bigger lie. It is the truth standing in dirty clothes. The shelter fell quiet. Outside, the city had started drying after the rain. Inside, two people who came to test others now stood before a test they could not escape. By late afternoon, Zara sat behind the shelter with Mina, washing her face with water from a small bowl. The cleaner's uniform was still on her body. The headscarf lay beside her. Her hair was loose now, and she kept touching her bare wrist without meaning to. Mina watched her with worried eyes. Your father called me 6 times, Mina said. Zara wiped her face with the edge of a cloth. Did you answer? No. He will punish you. I know. Zara stopped and looked at her. Mina, you should go back. Tell him I forced you. Mina shook her head. He will not believe that. Then tell him I lied to you. He will believe that even less. Zara took her hand. I am serious. So am I. Mina, you work in his house. I am his daughter. His anger will fall on you harder. Mina looked toward the shelter door. All my life, I have watched rich people say, do not worry. I will protect you. But when trouble comes, servants stand alone. Zara lowered her eyes. Mina continued, you are the first person in that house who ever asked me what I thought. Do not send me away now like I am only useful when I am afraid. Zara's eyes filled, but she blinked the tears back. I am sorry, she said. For what? For all the times I thought I was kind because I spoke softly to you. Mina's face softened. You were kinder than many. That is not enough. No, Mina said. It is not. But it is a start. Zara nodded. At the front of the shelter, Adewale stood with Bayo near a broken wall. Bayo had returned in plain clothes with a small bag. He kept his voice low, but his worry was clear. Your Highness, the Queen has almost lost patience. Adewale looked toward the shelter door. Did you find out about Madame Ireti? Yes. She sent the false message that pulled me away. One of her assistants confirmed it, but he is afraid. And Minister Dabo, he has men watching the road to the palace. He wants Zara brought in like she has already agreed. Adewale's jaw tightened, and the announcement already spreading. Chiefs are arriving. Cameras too. Adewale looked down at his beggar clothes. Good. Bayo stared. Good. Yes. Let them all come. Sir, please think. If you enter like this, people will talk for years. They already talk. Let them talk about something useful. Bayo lowered his voice. Your name can be damaged. Adewale looked at him. Bayo, last night, a woman could not breathe because she had no money for medicine. A man shared bread with me when he had almost nothing. A child asked me to help her mother, and I stood there with a royal ring in my pocket like a fool. My name deserves some damage. Bayo's face changed. He had served Adewale for years. He had seen him angry, proud, funny, tired. He had not seen him like this. Your mother said I should bring you home, Bayo said. I am coming home. Dressed like this? Adewale looked at the shelter. Yes, Bayo sighed. Then at least take clean clothes in the car. No, sir, no. If I change before I enter, I am still hiding. Bayo shook his head, but he did not argue again. Mama Sewa came out with Baba Kunle. The old woman looked at Bayo once and smiled. So the prince's shadow has returned. Bayo froze. Adewale looked at Mama Sewa. Mama, what? You thought only young people can see? Bayo's eyes widened. She knows? Mama Sewa looked offended. Do I look blind because I sleep near gutters? Baba Kunle looked from Adewale to Bayo. His face slowly changed. Mama, he said carefully. What are you saying? Adewale turned to him. He could not keep pulling the truth halfway and pushing it back. But before he spoke, Mama Sewa raised a hand. Not yet. Too many walls here. Let the truth stand where the lie was seated. Baba Kunle stared at Adewale. Wale. Adewale met his eyes. I will answer everything tonight. Baba Kunle's face was serious. People here do not like being used. I know. No. You are learning, though still weak. Her little girl sat beside her, peeling an orange badly. Tawa looked at Zara's face. You are going, yes. To the palace? Yes. Tawa nodded slowly. Your father is powerful. I know. Powerful men do not like being refused in public. I know that too. Tawa reached for Zara's hand. Then do not go only with anger. Anger can open a door, but it cannot always keep you standing inside the room. Zara sat beside her. What should I go with? Tawa looked at her daughter, then back at Zara. Truth. And people who saw you when you had nothing to gain. Zara looked around the shelter. Kemi was packing food into small containers. Jide was tying a rope around a bundle of mats. Baba Kunle was speaking with Mama Sewa outside. You think they will come? Zara asked. Tawa smiled. Mama Sewa likes trouble when truth is inside it. At that moment, Mama Sewa entered. Who is ready to visit the palace? She asked. The room became loud at once. Jide stood. Palace? Like inside? Kemi wiped her hands. Mama, do not joke. I am too hungry to joke. Mama Sewa said. Baba Kunle came behind her. Only those who can walk calmly. No shouting, no fighting. We go as witnesses, not as a mob. Jide lifted his hand. I can walk calmly if nobody insults me. Kemi laughed. Then you should stay. Adewale entered with Bayo. The room turned to him. He stood in the doorway for a moment, then said, I need your help. Nobody spoke. He continued, not to save me, to tell the truth about what you saw. Kemi crossed her arms. And after we tell truth, palace people will clap and return us to this floor. Adewale swallowed. No. Jide laughed. He said no like he owns the palace. Baba Kunle looked sharply at Adewale. Adewale did not look away. I cannot fix everything tonight, he said. And if I promise that, I will be lying again. But I can make sure the people who planned this do not use your lives as shame in their game. Zara walked to stand beside him. And I can face my father, she said. But I do not want to face him as the poor woman I pretended to be. I want to face him as the rich woman who saw what her comfort helped hide. The room stayed quiet. Then Tawa's little girl stood with her half-peeled orange. I will go, she said. Tawa pulled her gently. No, you will sit down. The room laughed softly. Mama Sewa pointed at the child. Courage has spoken, but courage will remain with her mother. That broke the fear a little. Kemi sighed. I will go. If they ask who cooked the rice, I will say it was me before this minister's daughter tried to drown it. Zara smiled through her fear. Jide stood too. I will go. I want to see if palace chairs are softer than church benches. Baba Kunle nodded. I will go. Tawa raised her hand weakly. I cannot walk far, but I can speak if they carry me in a car. Adewale turned to Bayo. Arrange it. Bayo nodded. Quietly, Adewale looked at Mama Sewa. She shook her head. Truth does not need trumpet, but it should not crawl. Adewale almost smiled. Arrange it with dignity. Bayo left. As evening came, the shelter prepared like a small army of tired people. Not with weapons. With memory. Kemi washed her hands and changed into a cleaner wrapper. Jeed borrowed a shirt from Baba Kunle. Tawa wrapped herself well, and held her daughter close, until another woman agreed to watch the child. Her brown head cloth, and her small bowl. Zara looked at the bowl. Mama, why are you taking that? Mama Sewa held it up. This bowl entered places I was chased from. Tonight it will enter where I was never invited. Adewale heard and looked away. That bowl felt heavier than his ring. Before they left, Zara pulled Adewale aside near the back door. I need to know one thing. He looked at her. Ask. Are you going to protect the prince tonight? His face tightened. She continued. You said you work with him. You helped his test. You know palace people. When everything starts, will you stand with truth or with him? Adewale took a breath. What if standing with truth is the only way to stand with him? Zara frowned. You talk in corners. I know. I hate it. I know that too. Then answer straight. He looked at her for a long moment. I will not protect his pride, he said. Even if it costs him. She studied him. Good, she said. Because if I see him tonight, I will tell him exactly what I think of him. Adewale gave a sad half smile. He needs it. Zara stepped closer. You sound as if you pity him. Maybe I do. Why? Because he thought he was wise when he was only wounded. Zara's anger softened despite herself. Then she remembered who she was angry with and stepped back. My father is also wounded, she said. He lost my mother and turned love into control. That does not make what he does right. No, Adewale said. It does not. He will not look like a villain tonight. He will look calm. He will sound reasonable. He will tell everyone he is protecting me. He will say I am confused. He will say I am been misled. Adewale nodded. Then we must not give him anger to use. Zara looked at him. Can you control yours? He looked toward the palace road. I do not know. Then try. I will. Bayo returned with 2 plain buses and 1 car for Tawa. He looked like a man who had already broken 10 palace rules and expected to break 10 more. They are ready, he said. The shelter people began to move. Adewale and Zara stood at the back for a moment, watching them enter the buses. Mama Sewa climbed into the first bus with her bowl on her lap. Zara whispered, This is bigger than us now. Adewale nodded. It should have been from the start. They entered the bus last. As the vehicles moved toward the palace, the city changed around them. The roads became cleaner, the street lights brighter, the houses taller. People in the bus grew quiet. Jide looked out the window. So this is where our taxes came to rest. Kemi whispered, Behave yourself. I am behaving. My eyes are the ones talking. Zara sat near the window, hands folded tightly. Adewale sat across the aisle, still in his beggar clothes. Their eyes met once, then moved away. At the palace, lights filled the sky. Cars lined the entrance. Chiefs in fine clothes walked toward the hall. Cameras flashed. Musicians played soft drums near the gate. The bus stopped near a side entrance. Bayo stepped in. Wait here. Adewale stood. No. We enter through the front. Bayo's face tightened. Sir, the lie was made for the front. The truth will not use the back. Zara stood too. For once, I agree with him. Mama Sewa lifted her bowl. Then open road. At the front gate, guards moved to block them. Then they saw Bayo. Then they saw Adewale. Confusion spread across their faces like fire. One guard whispered, You're... Adewale's eyes warned him. The guard stepped aside, shaken. Inside the palace hall, Minister Dabo stood beside Madame Ireti, smiling under bright lights. Queen Moriniki sat on the royal chair, her face calm but her fingers tight on the armrest. Madame Ireti moved to the microphone. Honored guests, she said, tonight, 2 great families come together. Minister Dabo has given his blessing, and soon Prince Adewale will stand before us to accept the beautiful Zara Dabo as his chosen bride. People clapped. Minister Dabo smiled. Then the great doors opened. The clapping died. A man in a torn brown shirt, old cap, and dusty slippers walked into the royal hall. Beside him walked Zara Dabo in a faded cleaner's uniform. Behind them came Mama Sewa with her old bowl, Baba Kunle, Kemi, Jide, Tawa, and the people from the shelter. The whole palace stared. Minister Dabo's smile broke. Queen Moriniki rose slowly. Madame Areti stepped back from the microphone. Adewale removed his cap. A gasp moved through the hall, but he did not stand tall like a prince returning in victory. He walked forward and knelt before his mother. Then he bowed his head. No one in the palace hall moved. The drums had stopped. The cameras kept flashing, but even the cameramen seemed unsure of what they were seeing. Chiefs leaned forward in their seats. Noble women covered their mouths. Guards looked at one another, waiting for an order that did not come. Prince Adewale remained on his knees in beggar clothes. Queen Morinaki stood before him with tears in her eyes, but her voice was steady. She said, He looked up. Mother. The word broke something in the room. People whispered louder. The prince? That is Prince Adewale? Why is he dressed like that? Who is that woman beside him? Minister Dabo stepped forward quickly. My queen, this is clearly a private matter. Let us move inside and settle it with dignity. Zara looked at him. No, father. His eyes shifted to her. Zara, you will be silent. She flinched, but she did not step back. Adewale stood slowly and turned to face the hall. His old shirt hung loose. His hair was rough. His hands were marked from carrying water. He looked nothing like the polished prince people knew. He walked to the microphone. Madame Areti tried to move it away, but Bayo stepped in front of her. Adewale looked at the crowd. I owe this kingdom the truth, he said. His voice carried through the hall. Minister Dabo smiled tightly. Your Highness, the truth can be handled with care. Adewale turned to him. That is what people say when they want to hide it. A few people murmured. Queen Moriniki sat slowly, watching her son. Adewale faced the hall again. I dressed like a homeless beggar to test women on blind dates. The hall erupted. Some gasped. Some whispered in shock. Some women looked angry at once. One chief shook his head. Another leaned toward his wife and spoke fast. Adewale waited. When the noise lowered, he continued. I told myself I wanted to find a woman who loved character and not the crown. I told myself I wanted truth. But I did not begin with truth. I began with pride. Zara stood a few steps behind him, still and silent. Adewale looked toward the side rows where a few women from the past blind dates had been invited for the false engagement. Lady Teniola was there. The woman who had laughed at him was there too. Their faces were full of shock and shame, but also anger. Adewale turned toward them. To the women I tested, I wronged you. Lady Teniola lifted her chin. You humiliated us too. Yes, Adewale said. The hall went quiet again. He did not defend himself. I put you in a false room and judged your real reactions. Some of you were cruel to me, but my test was cruel first. The woman who had recorded him stood. So what are you saying? That we are innocent? Adewale shook his head. No. I am saying my wrong does not clean yours, and yours does not clean mine. She sat slowly. Adewale took a breath. Last night, I entered a shelter with people who had no reason to help me. They shared food. They made space. They spoke truth to me when I had no crown to hide behind. He turned and looked at Mama Sewa. The old woman stood with her bowl in both hands. Adewale faced the hall. I learned that poverty is not a costume. It is not a lesson tool for rich people. It is a life many people are forced to carry while the rest of us walk past. The Queen's eyes filled, but she did not interrupt. Adewale stepped away from the microphone and bowed his head to the shelter people. I am sorry. The room held its breath. Then Zara stepped forward. Minister Dabo moved fast. Zara, enough. She turned to him. No, father. You have spoken for me all my life. Tonight I will use my own mouth. His face hardened, but the cameras were on him. He smiled like a patient father. My daughter is tired, he told the hall. She has been missing since yesterday. She is not herself. Zara laughed softly. Everyone heard the pain in it. That is his voice, she said. That calm voice. That is how cages are built in my father's house. A shock moved through the crowd. Minister Dabo's smile faded. Zara walked to the microphone. I am Zara Dabo, she said. Daughter of Minister Dabo. I came to meet the prince, but not as myself. I dressed as a street cleaner because I had heard he was dressing as a beggar to test women. Madame Iretti closed her eyes for a second. Zara continued. I wanted to expose him. I wanted to prove that royal men were proud and false. I thought his disguise was shameful, so I made my own. But I was not better than him. She looked at Kemi, Tawa, Jide, Baba Kunle, and Mama Sewa. I wore a cleaner's uniform for one evening. Some women wear it for years and are still not respected. I walked in poor sandals for one night. Some people walk in them until their feet wound. I thought I was fighting pride, but I carried my own pride into the same room. Her voice shook, but she stayed standing. My father wanted this marriage for power. I wanted to run from him. The prince wanted to test women. Madame Iretti wanted to manage all of us. But the poor people we used as background became the only honest people in the story. Minister Dabo stepped forward again. This is nonsense. My daughter is emotional. She has been influenced by these people. Jide shouted from the back. These people have names. The hall turned. Baba Kunle held Jide's arm. Calm. Minister Dabo pointed toward the shelter group. You see? This is why such people should not be brought into royal matters. Mama Sewa walked forward. The guards moved, but Queen Moreniki raised one hand. They stopped. Mama Sewa reached the center of the hall with her bowl. She looked small under the great lights. Her wrapper was old. Her feet were worn, but her eyes were clear. Queen Morenaki spoke gently. Mama, what is your name? Sewa. Speak. Mama Sewa turned to the hall. I am not a chief. I am not a minister. I do not know big grammar. I know hunger. I know rain. I know when a person is pretending and when shame has entered them for real. Some people shifted in their seats. She pointed at Adewale. This one came with dirt on his body and pride in his chest. A few people gasped at her boldness. Adewale lowered his head. Mama Sewa pointed at Zara. This one came with poor cloth and rich anger. Zara accepted it. Mama Sewa lifted the bowl. I met them outside a restaurant where I begged for leftover food. They both saw me, both delayed. Both were busy testing each other while hunger stood at the gate. The hall was silent now. Later, rain took their helpers, phones gone, names useless. They followed me to where poor people sleep when the city closes its doors. She turned to Tawa. That woman needed medicine. This girl gave a gold bracelet from her dead mother. Zara looked down. A murmur moved through the hall. Mama Sewa faced Adewale. This prince carried water, badly at first. A small laugh moved through the shelter people. Even Queen Morenike smiled through her tears. Mama Sewa continued. He served people who did not know him. He listened when they complained about the palace. He wanted to remove his ring and escape, but he stayed. Minister Dabo clapped slowly. People turned to him. What a touching play, he said. Very touching. My queen, with respect. Are we now allowing beggars to decide royal matters? Adewale's eyes darkened, but he did not speak. Zara did. She is a witness. Dabo looked at her. She is a woman from the street. Mama Sewa looked at him. And you are a man from a house. Yet see where truth chose to sleep last night. A few people made low sounds of surprise. Minister Dabo's face tightened. Madame Iretti quickly stepped forward. Please, let us not forget why we are here. The kingdom came to celebrate unity. Misunderstandings happened, yes, but they can be healed privately. Queen Moreniki looked at her. Privately? Madame Iretti bowed. My queen. Public shame helps no one. Adewale turned to Bayo. Now. Bayo walked to the side of the hall and spoke to a palace media officer. The large screen behind the stage changed. Minister Dabo stiffened. Adewale faced the hall. Last night, false videos were prepared. They were meant to shame Zara and pressure the palace. Minister Dabo and Madame Iretti planned to force this engagement by using edited footage. Dabo laughed. That is a serious claim. Yes, Adewale said. That is why I brought proof. The screen showed a message from Madame Iretti to Bayo. The prince has changed route. Return to palace. He is safe. Bayo's voice came through the hall as he spoke from the side. I received that message. It was false. The screen changed again. A video showed Madame Iretti speaking with one of Dabo's men near the restaurant back entrance. There was no sound, but the timestamp was clear. Madame Iretti's face turned grey. Then another message appeared. It was from Dabo to Madame Iretti. If Zara refuses, release the street footage. If the prince resists, remind the queen what scandal does to a throne. The hall exploded. Minister Dabo shouted, "Fake!" Adewale looked at him. There is more. The screen changed again. This time there was audio. Dabo's voice filled the hall. If the kingdom sees their prince sleeping with beggars, he will obey us to save his name. And if Zara refuses, we will tell everyone she ran away with a homeless man. Zara closed her eyes. Her father stood frozen. Madame Iretti stepped back as if the floor had opened under her. Queen Morenike rose. Her voice was not loud, but it carried more power than a shout. Minister Dabo, he turned slowly. She walked down from the royal chair and stood before him. You brought chiefs, cameras, and guests here for an engagement. He swallowed. My queen, I can explain. No. You brought the kingdom here to watch you control your daughter, threaten the throne, and shame the poor. He looked around, searching for support. Some chiefs avoided his eyes. Others stared at him with open anger. Queen Morenike continued. You wanted a royal wedding. Instead, you have given the kingdom a trial. The words hit the hall like thunder. Dabo's face changed. For the first time, he looked less like a minister and more like a father whose plans had caught fire. He turned to Zara, my daughter. She stepped back. No, she said. Do not use that voice now. His face cracked for one small moment. Everything I did was to secure your future. Zara's eyes filled. You never asked me what future I wanted. I lost your mother. I could not lose you too, so you locked me inside your fear. He had no answer. The hall watched them, but for a moment, it felt like only father and daughter stood there. Zara's voice broke. You did not protect me. You prepared to destroy me if I refused you. Dabo looked down. Madame Iretti suddenly tried to leave through the side door. Bayo signaled the guards. They blocked her. Queen Morenike turned to the guards. Minister Dabo and Madame Iretti will remain in the palace until the council decides the next step. No one touches them. No one insults them. But they will answer. The guards bowed. Adewale stepped back from the microphone. People began speaking all at once. Some were angry, some were shocked, some called for punishment, others called for calm. But Adewale looked only at the women he had tested, the shelter people, his mother, and Zara. The reveal was done. The crown had returned. But nothing felt simple. Zara stood alone near the microphone, breathing hard. Adewale walked toward her. She looked at him before he spoke. So, she said quietly. Well, he stopped. She looked at his face, his clothes, the hall, the guards, the queen. Prince Adewale, he nodded. I wanted to tell you. She gave a small, painful smile. You did tell me. In pieces. Like men do when they want truth to arrive after they are safe. The words hurt because they were fair. I am sorry, he said. You keep saying that. I know. What am I supposed to do with it? He had no answer. She stepped away from him and walked to Mama Sewa. Adewale watched her go. Queen Morenike came to his side. My son, she said softly. Truth has entered the room. Now consequence must sit down. Adewale nodded. Across the hall, Mama Sewa placed her old bowl on the edge of the royal stage. The bowl looked small there, but everyone saw it. The palace did not sleep that night. Long after the guests were led out and the cameras were turned away, the hall still carried the sound of what had happened. Servants moved quietly. Guards stood in corners. Chiefs gathered in small groups and spoke in low voices. Minister Dabo sat in a private waiting room with 2 guards outside. Madame Iretti sat in another room, her fine head tie removed, her face empty. No one touched them. No one shouted at them. But their power had changed shape. It no longer stood above people. It sat under questions. In a smaller council room, Queen Moriniki sat at a plain table with Prince Adewale, Zara, Mama Sewa, Baba Kunle, Kemi, Jide, Tawa, and 3 senior palace advisors. No one sat on a throne. That was the Queen's order. If we are speaking about what happened among people, she had said, we will sit like people. Adewale sat in his beggar clothes. A servant had offered him fresh royal clothing 3 times. He had refused 3 times. Zara sat across from him in the cleaner's uniform. Her feet were tired, her eyes were red, but her back was straight. For a while, nobody spoke. Then Queen Moriniki looked at the women Adewale had tested. They had also been invited into the room. Lady Teniola sat with her arms folded. The woman who had recorded him sat beside her, looking less bold now. The Queen spoke first. What my son did was wrong. Adewale lowered his head. The Queen continued, what some of you said to him was also wrong. But he was the one with power. That means his wrong carried more weight. Lady Teniola looked surprised. Adewale stood. I want to apologize again. Not as a prince making a speech. As a man who used pain badly. The woman who had recorded him looked up. Do you know what people would have said if that video had spread? They would have called me wicked. Adewale nodded. Yes. You gave me a false test, and would have judged my whole heart from one moment. Yes. She looked down. But I laughed at you. You did. I am not proud of it. Adewale said. Neither am I. Lady Teniola leaned forward. So what now? We all cry and go home? No, the Queen said. You will all be free to make public statements if you wish. The palace will not silence you. One advisor shifted. My Queen, that may damage the prince. Queen Moriniki turned to him. Then let damage teach where advice failed. The advisor closed his mouth. Adewale looked at his mother with deep respect and a little fear. Lady Teniola stood. I do not want revenge. But I want it known that women are not animals to be tested in secret. Adewale bowed his head. It will be known. The women left soon after, still hurt, but heard. Then the council turned to Minister Dabo and Madame Ireti. Bio entered with documents. My Queen, we have received worker complaints connected to companies under Minister Dabo's control. Some are linked to unpaid contracts. Zara closed her eyes. Tawa looked at her, but said nothing. Queen Moriniki took the papers. An independent investigation will begin. Minister Dabo is removed from all palace advisory duties until it ends. Madame Ireti is dismissed from royal service at once. One advisor asked, and the marriage arrangement? Zara looked up. Queen Moriniki's face became almost sad. There is no arrangement. There never was. A marriage without free will is only a decorated prison. Zara's lips parted, but no words came. Adewale looked at her. He wanted to say something, but he knew this was not his moment to fill. Queen Morinaki turned to Zara. My child, I owe you an apology too. Zara was startled. My queen? I allowed people around this palace to discuss you like a solution, not a person. I did not ask what you wanted. Zara's eyes filled again. Thank you, my queen. No. Do not thank me for arriving late. Mama Sewa gave a small sound. Good. Even queens can learn. The advisors looked shocked. Queen Moriniki smiled. Yes, Mama. Even queens. Jide whispered to Kemi. This palace is not boring. Kemi elbowed him. When the meeting ended, morning light was beginning to touch the windows. Zara walked outside into the palace garden alone. The same garden where Adewale had once looked out with bitterness now stood quiet under the pale sky. The flowers were wet from the night rain. A gardener swept fallen leaves near the path. Zara stood near a fountain, staring at the water. Adewale came slowly behind her, but stopped far enough away. May I speak? He asked. She did not turn. You are asking now? Yes. Good. Speak. He came a little closer, but not too close. I am sorry I lied to you. She gave a tired laugh. That one is clear. I thought if I told you too early, you would only see the crown. So you made sure I trusted the beggar first. He winced. I did not think of it that way. That is the problem. Adewale, you did not think from my side. He nodded. You are right. She turned now. Do you know what hurts most? He waited. I told Wale things I would have said to the prince if I had the chance. I thought I was speaking to someone who might carry my words to him, but you stood there receiving my pain while hiding the fact that you were the person who caused part of it. Know it well. I am trying. She studied him. I believe that. He looked up. But belief is not the same as trust, she said. I understand. I do not want to be your reward for learning humility. The words entered him deeply. He shook his head. You are not. Good. Because stories like this like to end with the prince choosing the woman and everyone clapping. I do not want to be chosen like a prize. Adewale took a slow breath. Then choose yourself first. She stared at him. He continued, stay. Leave. Work with the palace. Fight your father's cases. Rest. Hate me for a while. Whatever you choose, let it be yours. Her face softened, but only a little. And you? She asked. I will try to become the kind of man who should never have needed a disguise to learn respect. That may take time. I know. It may hurt. I know. She looked toward the garden gate where workers were entering for morning duty. My father always said love protects, she said. But his love held my throat. I will face him. Not today. Today I am too tired. But soon, and I will help the workers he hurt. Not to look good. Not for cameras, because if my comfort came from their pain, I cannot pretend I did not see it. Adewale nodded. Then he said, there is something I want to build. What? A public table. She frowned. A table? Yes. Not a charity visit. Not a speech day. A real listening council. At the palace gate. Market women, cleaners, drivers, unpaid workers, widows, anyone with a complaint can come. The palace will listen and record it, and follow it. Zara looked at him carefully. People have made promises like that before. Then help me make this one harder to break. She looked away. You want me to work with you? If you choose. And Mama Sewa. She must sit at the first table. For the first time that morning, Zara smiled fully. She will insult everyone. Adewale smiled too. Good. 3 days later, the first open gate table was set in the large square before the palace. It was not a grand stage. Adewale refused that. It was a long wooden table under white canopies, with chairs on both sides. At first, palace staff wanted the royal chairs on one side and citizens on the other. Mama Sewa saw it and clicked her tongue. So poor people should still sit like accused persons. The chairs were changed. Now everyone sat around the same table. News had spread through the kingdom. Some people came because they were curious. Some came because they were angry. Some came because they did not believe anything would change and wanted to see the joke with their own eyes. Adewale arrived in simple white clothes. Not royal robes. Not beggar rags. Just clean, plain clothing. People watched him closely. Zara arrived in a blue dress with no heavy jewelry. Her wrist was still bare. She had chosen not to replace the bracelet yet. Mama Sewa arrived last. A palace car had been sent for her, but she refused to sit in the back like a hidden thing. She came in the front seat beside Bayo, holding her old bowl on her lap. When she stepped down, people began to clap. She frowned. Did I dance? The clapping turned into laughter. Tawa came too, stronger now, with her daughter holding her hand. Kemi came with a notebook. Jide came wearing his borrowed shirt, proudly ironed. Baba Kunle came with a list of shelter needs, written in careful handwriting. Queen Moreniki sat at the table, not at the head. Adewale sat beside Mama Sewa. Zara sat across from them with a pen and paper. The first person to speak was a cleaner from a government office. Her hands shook as she held her form. My name is Mrs. Aleke, she said. We worked 6 months. They paid us for 2. When we asked, they said the money had not come, but our supervisor bought a new car. Zara wrote every word. Adewale listened without looking away. The woman stopped halfway and looked around. Am I speaking too much? Mama Sewa leaned forward. My daughter, for years nobody heard you. Today, speak until your throat is free. Mrs. Alake continued. Next came a driver who had been dismissed after an accident caused by bad brakes his employer refused to fix. Then a widow whose land had been taken. Then a group of young men who wanted work but were tired of being called lazy. Not every problem was solved that day. Some needed investigation. Some needed money. Some needed laws. Some needed time. Adewale did not pretend otherwise. Each time, he asked questions. He wrote names. He gave deadlines to palace officers in front of the people. Queen Morineshi watched him. And once, when he became too quick to promise, she touched his arm. "Careful," she whispered. "Hope is also a debt." He nodded and corrected himself. Near noon, Minister Dabo's unpaid workers came forward. Zara stood. Everyone turned to her. The leader of the workers, a thin man named Mr. Okon, looked at her with hard eyes. "Your father owes us," he said. Zara nodded. "Yes. Some of us lost rooms. Some lost school fees. One man's wife left because trouble became too much." Zara's voice was low. "I am sorry." Okon's face tightened. "Sorry will not pay rent." "No," she said. "It will not." She placed a file on the table. "These are the records I found in my father's office. I gave copies to the Queen's Council. I will testify if needed. Any money I control from my mother's estate will first go into a recovery fund for workers affected by his companies. It will not be enough for all, but it will begin before the court finishes." The workers murmured. Mr. Okon looked at her for a long time. "Why should we trust you?" Zara swallowed. "You should not trust me quickly. Watch what I do." Mama Sewa nodded. "Good answer." Mr. Okon took the file. The day went on. By evening, the table was covered with papers, names, empty water bottles, and tired hands. But people did not leave with the same faces they had brought. Some still doubted. Some still complained. Some smiled. Some cried quietly because, for the first time, their pain had entered the palace record. As the sun began to go down, Mama Sewa placed her old bowl in the middle of the table. Adewale looked at it. "Should we keep it here?" he asked. Mama Sewa shook her head. "No. Do not turn my bowl into decoration while people are still hungry." He nodded at once. "You are right. Keep it moving," she said. "Let it sit at every open gate table. When leaders see it, they should remember empty bowls are not solved by speeches." Zara wrote that down too. Adewale smiled. "Mama, you are now giving palace policy. I have been giving policy since yesterday. You people are only now writing it." Everyone around the table laughed. Later, when the crowd had thinned and the sky turned orange, Adewale and Mama Sewa remained at the table. "Us as people, or us as a kingdom?" "Both," he thought before answering. "The kingdom works. We work." Slowly, she nodded. Mama Sewa looked between them. "Good. Slow food does not burn the tongue." Zara laughed softly. Adewale looked at her. "May I walk you to the gate?" She considered it. "You may walk beside me, not take me." He smiled. "Beside you." They stood. Mama Sewa remained seated, her bowl in front of her. A poor man who had waited quietly all day stepped forward with a folded paper in his hand. "Please," he said. "Is it too late?" Adewale stopped. Zara stopped too. The palace officer nearby looked tired and almost said yes. But Adewale turned back. "No," he said. "Sit." The man sat. Zara returned to her chair and picked up her pen. Adewale sat beside Mama Sewa. The poor man began to speak. This time, the prince did not look around for cameras. He did not look for praise. He did not look for escape. He listened. Zara wrote. Mama Sewa watched them both, then looked at the palace gates standing open behind the crowd. A small smile touched her face. "Now," she said softly, "the palace has ears.